A few weeks ago, I recorded a Bromley Rebuild, calling them the worst team in England, but that's not necessarily true, as after 10 games of the current footballing season, Morecambe are the worst, rooted to the bottom of the English Football League. And not long ago, they were in League 1, the third tier, and suffered relegation, which hit them financially. So far, with no wins, I'm gonna have to step in, trying to turn the lowest team in England into the best one. As yes, people, like you just saw, Mr. Morecambe, I'm in the big red suit, ready to deliver like Santa Claus. A man I'm inspiring to be, of course, delivering on his promise, as we've got a promise to get this team to the Champions League. And it's not very good, is it? I mean, it's not the lowest rated in the game. We've got the likes of Luke Hendry, ex-Grimsby, and Williams. Only on loan for 6 months, but what a guy from Liverpool, 23. I think he could be a star here. There's no strict rules for this rebuild, but we do have one challenge, and that is that we must stick to no more than 3 free agents per season. Makes this quite difficult as the budget's less than $1 million, so this first season, it's gonna be a little bit difficult. As I'm thinking tactic, I don't want to mess these players around. They're probably not good enough to just follow a custom tactic. Counter-attacking football, probably with no coaches, as I want to put my money into the youth academy first season, as this is currently it, and we have a Brazilian down in League 2, Fabio Martins, 17, 88 potential. I've promoted him, but I'm gonna have to rely on this scout, the one-star Skinner, just going to England. And I was thinking I would sell players just to make a bit of money, but we have no one we can really sell. Our best players are 31 and 30 in George Ray. Oh my days, right. This is going to be a struggle because we can't even really coach these players. And I'm sorry to say I've got to go straight to them free agents. Now, there is a rule stopping me going crazy, but we definitely do need some. Not many though, not many, because I do want to cook up that academy, and obviously these wages will be high for Jamal Lewis especially. Way too good for this level, and I believe it's Sao Paulo in real life. But he's obviously not enjoyed it, willing to join Morecambe. And he's took a bit of a pay cut, joining the Shrimps on a long-term deal. And I was gonna say alongside these two, the Icelandic striker and Marshall, but the wages for these two players, they're extremely too high for their evaluation. They're only 16-year-olds, and we've only got 2-2-OK left. And I think I'd rather put that money into our own youth players. So use our academy, but at the same time not rely upon it. Cause Humphrey and Cartwright aren't the best players, but I am going to promote them and hopefully get them out on loan. Okay, and I failed heavy on that part because, yes, Cartwright is in the academy, but he has just turned 16. So he couldn't get promoted, but could we get promoted? As speaking of promoting, I'm going to promote the channel here because we are on a race for 50k before January. It's very, very slim to happen, but the channel's growing more than ever. So please help us try and complete almost the impossible. Leave a like as well on the video and leave a like for this team. Wow. It has got better. I've changed players around. We've got a 71 in the team. Lewis are only signing, and no wonder he's cost all our bloody money. And yeah, it is quite decent. I mean, did we really need a left back? Because I've just realised we've got another Lewis, another left back called Lewis. Funny that, and I didn't mean it, as we did lose Reece Williams. It looks like Lewis our best player, then our goalkeeper. That's not a bad thing. But one thing that is a bad thing, we have not got a good striker, as you can see by those ratings. As who was our top scorer? Charlie Brown. Okay, he's done pretty decent with 14. Hope with 10. Still he's a 59 rated. We can't rely on him, and we can't rely on loan deals. A 17th in the league? That's much better than I actually expected. I expected bottom 2, as we were beaten by Tranmere. I'll go on to them in a second, and beaten by Lincoln in the other cup. Then the BSM trophy got so unlucky with Birmingham, a team that should be unbeatable. They've spent over £20 million in League 1, as this man I want to speak on, Fabio Martins, 18, and already at a 60 overall. And Season 2's already unexpected. I don't know what to expect from us, but when you look at the side, Arsenal have won the Champions League. That's genuinely shocking, as now Martin's a 61, so he goes straight into the team, as we do need some midfielders alongside that striker, because Charlie Brown I thought would be quick training there. 110 weeks as a false 9, are you kidding me? And £2 million, well, at least our money has gone up this season, and only one free agent last year means we can go again. Again, I'm not going to go crazy with them, as a player that was in our league last year, Jonathan Lecco, released from MK Dons, 90 pace, decent striker. He's going to be our first player and potentially the only free agent. As I'm planning with the money we have to maybe sack our one-star scout, or not sack him, that'll cost money, but get a better scout, Patrick Nicholson. He's 3-star, 2-star, not great, but better than what we have. Sending him to his home nation of Scotland, which I usually do, but when we do go up the leagues, I will go scout other countries outside of the UK. Now, I was looking for midfielders, but I checked transfer list of players. Jake Young fits the bill. 23-year-old, 66 rated, from the league above, running out of contract, and could be as cheap as 600k. So I am going to test them waters. I would love to maybe change formation. Oh my days, that's acceptable. That would be a brilliant deal. We could change to 2 strikers then, as Ben Tollett leaves for a bit of money and allows us to pay the wage of Jake Young, the young striker. So now we go 4-4-2, and that is a lot better. We'll get the strikers in with a high defensive approach, because I feel like we need to play more with the strikers. As now just a midfielder needed, if we could squeeze one through. As one in our academy, but he's not too great in Nathan Neal. And same with Oliver McPherson, I hope I've said that name right. He's not too great at the moment, but I could see him staying here a long time. So unfortunately not ready, so our final signing is Gary O'Neill. Not the Wolves manager, but a free agent from Ireland. And I can't lie, right, we are at the end of the season. I am hoping for promotion. There's something at the side there. Celebrate late into the night as Morecambe. You saw that little graphic. I think we've done something special, as O'Neill, that late signing, 65 rated. Yes, he is 31-year-old, and then we've got Young, who's 24, and Lecco, 27, both 69 overall. As by the way, we've got a 75 overall Jamal Lewis. You know, if we do decide to sell him, that is the club's stable in their position, as Lecco 23 goals, Young 16, but then also McPherson. He was on loan at Crawley in this division, so we can see his goals, and he's a 60 rated winger. I think there's a bit of potential there, as his team finished 4th, but our team finished 2nd, so no, not a trophy, and no, not a league win. That's actually almost ideal. We are getting automatically promoted, and Grimsby Town 7th. Player football, the team that I support, as we had a decent run in the FA Cup, reaching the 3rd round, and then a 4-3 loss at Exeter. A tough one to take, as then the Carabao beaten by the Saints Southampton. Now that's not a tough one to take. Doing pretty decent against a Premier League / Championship club, as then in the BSM, 3-2 to Stockport. We did get through again, and hey, everybody signed up to a contract, and that team excites me, as another change that I did make, Harry Lewis at right back, because I did spot that 5-star weak foot. I think this is a crucial change, and I think it probably will help us. I'm going to change his position, and it doesn't affect his rating, because he might need to go back on the left if we sell Jamal Lewis. And season number 3, we are in League 1, the 3rd tier, with 2 million to spend, and I don't think that's good enough, so I think it's going to happen. We've got them loan listed players, a few transfer listed players, including Jamal Lewis, who we've got to cash in on, as I think the players to survive this year is a left back to replace him, centre back, and left mid. Martin's for the loan list. He's 19, 63 rated. I don't want that potential slipping, so I think he's got to revive somewhere else. As we look somewhere else, sending our scout to Northern Ireland while still in the lower lower English leagues looking for the next Jamal Lewis. I'd love to try and make one instead of sign one, as speaking of signings, these two players here, now they're not the best requirements. We don't need a striker, but Gatlin O'Donkor is on the loan list, and I think we could do with him in the club. Then also Dylan Duffy, not a fan because he's at Lincoln, but if we can get him for that lower band, I think that's a good signing. As this is what I was waiting for, not actually an incoming but an outgoing Jamal Lewis, a bid of 6.6 million, which I'm gonna be cheeky with, asking for 7.1. I'm receiving 7.1. That is a very risky move completed. So after that we can start our spending, but the first signing of course on a cheap is that winger Duffy. Very happy with Dylan, although he has come from Lincoln, and I'm happy with O'Donkor because he's come in on loan. An extremely good start, just made even better with an extra 7 million for contracts and coaches, and also signings, as this first guy's called Hamilton, a youngster from Notts County, as that's going to be our philosophy. Signing youngster after youngster in David Okabuge, a very fancy name, as then we've got Armando Dobra, a key player in real life for Chesterfield in the league below, as we're not forgetting about free agents, just the one in Lucas Jensen. Can't pass up on his talent, as there's only one talent we need now, and that is to replace Bergendoy with another young keeper. As 3 million on the dot will do the job, and no, not with the academy. We are still trusting the academy, but we're going to sign a youngster who's good. Or not just good, should I say, the best in Jonathan Best from Doncaster in our division. As this feels weird, Markham going from money troubles to money spending for fun, signing from a rival team. A very surreal feeling, spending that much as our academy, it isn't getting better at all. We got Sloan with a funny haircut. I really love that. I mean, for a 17-year-old kid to have that, I'm not gonna lie, I don't think you'd ever see it. But hey, I can't mention hair. Mine is terrible, as this team is not. We've got some decent ratings. The goalkeeper hasn't been played, because when we go down here, Best already 71. We spent big money on him, and he looks to be repaying it already. Going straight into our squad, as our best player is Jake Young, not looking too young anymore, now 25 years old. Charlie Brown doing okay, Lecco, but I only care about goal scorers, as McAdam is the highest, the midfielder with 13. Oh god, can't be a good thing. 12th in the division. I mean, it's not the worst after getting promoted, but we usually like to skip through the bottom two tiers. League 1 and League 2, that is. We took 3 years already, and we're still not in the championship. We've got to speed up this process. As any good cup runs for a bit of money, we did beat Bristol Rovers in a round right there, and the next round, Chelsea, round 3 of the FA Cup defeat. Then round 1 defeat in the Carabao, Colchester United, and Grimsby in the BSM trophy, which honestly I can't feel bad about at all. I do support that club as money. 1 million left over. If we get a budget of 2 million, I am going to flip. Because we've saved money, we shouldn't lose it, as the team I'm very happy with. I've got to be honest, we only lose one player, and that of course the lone boy O'Donkor. And that's back down to earth. I thought it might be a little bit more. £3 million? At least we've carried our $1 million over. As where do we need to strengthen? In the first team, you know what? I just feel if we leave the first team, it will gradually just grow better. Season of youth, methinks, as McPherson, he was on loan last year, a 66 rating, and just got promoted with Portsmouth, I believe. We've got Fabio Martins, probably desperate for a loan deal now. Lucas Jensen's still quite young. And also Jonathan Best. The best out of the lot, as with our academy, we've got to send it to the best country. Brazil, we're going again, just to find a really good player. As do we bring this man back this season, Catalin O'Donkor. He did get 9 goals, but for that price tag, I think we'll give it a pass. I think in a season where growing our youth, we've probably just got to sign youth as well. So Antonio Jimenez, you're up. You're coming from Wimbledon. Oh no, you're not, because they reject it. They reject 1.5 million. Our budget is just too low. we can't sign anybody decent. If we are fighting for promotion, as look at the contracts running out as well, we're going to struggle for money. I hate that this is happening to us, as it's a free agent season again. But actually, no, I'm stopping that. We're only signing one free agent. I've decided I'm not going to go crazy with them. And besides, Joel Collier, a very low-rated player, 64 as a backup striker. It's not like we're buying the best players or getting the best players from free agents. I'm always going to aim for them to not be first teamers from now on, especially. If we want a good first teamer, we're going to have to buy a good one, as another young player for the bench, Jake Richards, could be handy. O'Neal getting no younger in the middle, so this guy can replace him. So we've got some good midfield options. We've of course got our backup striker in, leaving the rest of the money in this quick season to go towards coaches and of course them contracts, which we desperately need to sort out. Yeah, nothing much to report on. I thought we'd be okay for this season. It's proven that we're okay. We've got some brilliant ratings in League 1. 77 Young, 77 Brown. They're two generic names. And then best, getting to be the best, potential to be special, which I actually never noticed. And we've got Martins doing well in the league above at Plymouth Argyle, I believe, as a top scorer for us. Armando Dobra, followed by Lecco, followed by Young, and then Collier, our backup. He hasn't done too bad with his rating. Not too bad of a season, which we've flown through with these ratings. Now, game time's a bit all over the place. Lecco, Jensen, and Hamilton not getting much game time, but still, we can move with this, as I've just noticed this youth player, McPherson, doing very well. In fact, so well, he's still not trained as a right mid. I don't get it, and plus he's left-footed. Maybe I'd change him to a left midfielder. Try him on the left, as come on, we're in season 4. We need to get promoted, and I'm surprised it's 5th place. We should be flying near the top. We've got a 76 rated keeper, and round 4 of the FA Cup, a 1-0 defeat to Brighton. A 2-1 defeat in round 1 of the Carabao, though. Oh my days, and a finale loss in the BSM trophy. We never win that competition, but we did get revenge on Oxford in a humiliating fashion. 6-1 in one leg. Caesars go to the final against Portsmouth, as I just clicked the wrong button. It's a win in the final. Add that trophy to the cabinet. Morecambe are in the championship. With this team, of course, I've got to go and have another look at it, as we've got some original players like Taylor, Lewis and Brown, but I am going to keep on building here as we need survival next year. Or are we just surviving? I mean, £5 million probably says yes to that claim. I don't see us staying up with that much. Still a League 1 budget, if you ask me. Personally, I don't think we can improve that team with the money. Maybe centre-back, or maybe a midfielder. Gary O'Neal is now 33. Jensen, though 21, just need a younger player alongside him, as maybe he can come through the academy. We had 0 luck with it last year, so I'm going to stay in Europe, and if looking for a midfielder, it's got to be Spain. Let's try and make the next Iniesta, or actually, could we find one? Because we can scout the Spanish leagues, the championship we can sign elsewhere. Not just be tied down to free agent signings and English signings, we can go to Spain for a Swede in Carlson. Centre-back option, left-footed as well is key, because he's very young as well, so he can replace Taylor, our current left-sider. And as soon as I talk about replacing Hamilton, here come the bids for him. 4.4 million. Could allow someone better. So I'm selling him out the club, and I'm going to invest our money elsewhere. Yes, I'm going to pull out on that Carlson deal. I think we can get better, as this guy Cortez was actually out of our budget, but now 6.5 million, we probably can afford him. Oh my days, but they say no, and I was willing to go to 8 million, so next up, we'll get Carlson back on the phone right away. Sorry, my friend, I swear you was always the first option. Definitely didn't try and sign someone 10 times better than you. As look at the look on his face, you can see he's fuming with those eyebrows. He knows we tried to sign someone else, and he won't let us forget about it. As let's not forget about the budget, because it was higher, leaving 7 million, and we do probably need some bench players alongside that centre mid. As here he is, the new signing, Peralta, for the midfield. But once he's walked through the door, I can smell something. another signing. As not one midfielder, but two coming into the club, as we've just took a trip up to Scotland to bring in Pontus Darboe. Gary O'Neill replaced, and we can swap them around for their weaker foots, as there we go, the right side, Darboe and Jensen. Peralta only on the bench, alongside O'Neill, some decent centre-backs, a decent backup striker, and two very good youth players. Completely forgot about Martins. He came back from his loan in good faith, as I don't have faith in the academy. 0 players really found. Yes, I did get quite a few, but they were terrible, so I'm not promoting them, as we do have a player that's a youth player not from the team or from the academy, Jonathan Best, 21, 83 rated. With Martins one of the default youth players, and Young almost an 80 joining Brown, as this team has potential. Look at the goals we've got. We've got Young scoring 18, Dobra 13. Now that does concern me, because it means our other left mid hasn't played. McPherson, who's 72, but still there's a little bit of growth in there, as I did last minute put Martins in the team next to Darboe, who hasn't really grown. It's played Peralta a bit weirdly, because his rating has gone up. And that's maybe a Prem side. Again though, all I wanted to do was survive with some difficult teams, but most of the difficult teams finish above us, and then we're top of the pile. The pile being the rest of the team's 5th place. Good work. As same can't be said for the FA Cup, losing to Cardiff. Then losing to Salford on a penalty shootout, scoring 1, but no need for penalties in the Championship playoffs. Again, like last year, a second leg hammering at Leeds United. Last year it was Oxford, as this year it's a hammering in the final. Morecambe 4-1 winners over Leicester City means we go to the Premier League straight through the Championship. Where have the last 2 seasons gone? Honestly, just flown by, and we've flown up the leagues. 2 back-to-back promotions, growing a youthful team, as we still have OGs in here. Brown, Lewis and Taylor all started at the club. But I'm afraid if we want to survive, we need to get some better players in, because our bench players are around here. They're 68 to 72 rated. Not good enough, need another striker, as Leco's hit 30 and Jake Young 27. This squad's starting to age. Or half of it started to age. It's only 28 million. Right, we've flown up the leagues too fast, because that budget is horrendous. And bids flying in for players, which to be fair are first teamers, but Lewis 17 million. He's already 29. I don't want to be a selling club, as now Carlson 24 million. But above that, Best in a bid of 44.3, plus Jonathan David, a decent striker, but he's 29. I'd sold my keeper last time when we did rebuild Bromley, so I am going to reject for him. I actually want to keep our best player, because why just sell him? If we go down, his evaluation will go up. Yeah, I'm not taking that risk. I'm instead gonna sell some aging players, replace them with younger players, maybe 3 or 4 ratings below. As watch this, we've made 17 million from Fulham on Adam Lewis, and then found Hika, who's 1 rating lower and half the price almost. Oh, but he's on loan. This is not going to go well for us, right? We've got to look elsewhere for a right back. Right back is #1 priority. As Antoine, can we get him, the double-named hero? I'm hoping so, but first we've signed a backup in Srdanovic. As I was so confident in getting him, I actually signed his backup man first. As alongside him, Brian De Vries, another backup striker, and Rivas, a defender playing European football with Bodo Glimt. As only 1 first team improvement, that's Antoine in the defence, but the bench, I've got to say, looks better. A midfielder light, I'm pretty sure. And that's where this man comes in. Narty, another Danish man, probably dropping Dabo to the bench. But I can't believe what I just saw. As when I was looking for a midfielder, I decided to go against it, but maybe I could come back to him, a failed Kobe Mainu. I genuinely could not believe it when I saw his rating, as I can't believe Jonathan Best's. It does say he is transfer listed. That's because last season I just wanted to test the waters a little bit, but now he comes off the transfer list and honestly is amazing. Gonna try and keep him here as our top scorer from day one. Fabio Martins, the Brazilian, he has been playing on the left-hand side. Young getting a few goals in 14, and then Lecco slowing down at his age. And is that enough goals to stay in the Premier League? Oh, it is. We were under no pressure, 11 points safe, and that came out a little bit weird, but yes, easily safe, with Everton finishing below us, and of course holding Kobe Mainu, who I keep thinking I may have to pay a visit to, as round 5 of the FA Cup, a 2-0 loss to Cardiff. At home, that's quite disappointing, as a 1-0 defeat to Sheffield Wednesday takes us out of the Cups in rather embarrassing fashion. As another possibly embarrassing bit, definitely not the team is great. The fact our budget might go down, because this year, 28 million. Budgets tend to go down, and I can't believe we've just played with the high line, as I've took that down to a deep one, and also change the formation. You know who's fitting in there. As also, I know I've already asked you guys to subscribe, but liking the video as well really helps push these videos out. I'd appreciate it a bunch if you do just hit that like button, as 1 like equals 1 prayer, with that as our Premier League budget. Terrible money, but hey ho, we know which player we want, and with changing our shape, we probably can sell Jonathan Lecco. As hey, where's our left back? He was nowhere near out of contract. Or maybe he was, but still I'm gonna sign him back up again. Don't think you escaped that quickly, Mr. Quaglio. As oh my days, he actually almost ended up at United. As speaking of United, we want one of their old players as potentially our only signing, but Mainu would still be expensive. So we've got to get rid of some players, and look at that bid for Lecco. I know he's grown quite a bit, but that was a weird bid, as Man United offering Malik Thiaw and almost 100 million. And give us 166. I know you're stupid enough to pay that. Or not. Erik ten Hag saying goodbye. Okay, see ya. And see you later to Lecco as well. We're taking that money. And we're also taking this, as yes, he has left. Would have loved to keep him the entire save, but 151 million from Bournemouth for Jonathan Best, the only club willing to pay the money. As before we spend that sum, welcome Kobe Mainu. He fits straight into this team, leaving maybe a striker and maybe a centre-back, and of course a goalkeeper needed, and we will have a lot of money. Starting with the new keeper called James Beadle. A great deal on him for 25.5 mil, as then our new exciting striker, the 20-year-old Ricky, and big boy Jared Branthwaite, and we've still got a lot of money left. In fact, 36 million. Selling the keeper was the best thing we have ever done in a save, but still, I feel cautious around the next signing, because Mainu's not that high rated. So do we get another CDM, or do we try and replace Brown? 30 years old. I know he's an OG, but I think he needs selling. So I am going to try and transfer list him just to receive as much money as possible. As there he goes to Spurs, giving us around now 60 million. And I'm not going to waste your time or mess about with his replacement, as here comes a winger from Lyon. I believe his name's Keita. Was that his actual name? I didn't catch it. It is, because he's an 85 rated, almost similar to Mainu. This man cost 25 million, this man 46, so there is a little bit of a difference. Mainu has grown hugely. What a revival for his career here at Morecambe, near Manchester. As our best player this season, Branthwaite 86. As top scorer is Ricky, one of the new lads with 32, as this season's going to be a good test. Is loads of decent players better than one good player? Oh my days. Jonathan Dest is a 95. He's a 95 overall. Now I kinda regret selling him, or do I? Because selling him has gave us a team that has got us third in the Premier League. Squeezed into the Champions League at the second time of asking. Now, that's a difficult thing to do. We've not done that much before at all. As any cup luck? Oh, semi-finals of the FA Cup. And semi-finals of the Carabao, losing on penalties. Team must be very good though, as then the Super Cup won by Manchester City. The finalists in the Champions League as Atleti and Ajax. So surely we should fancy ourselves and hopefully get a big budget to still improve that team and also maybe change the tactics. as I've lost track of seasons, but I'm not losing track of our tactics. Now, I'm going to change tiki-taka. I think I'm done with counter-attacking. We are too good for that, as I'm looking at left back, centre mid, right back, or even centre back, because Carlson, struggling. He's the left footer, change to the right-hand side, so it doesn't work, as 87 million works for our budget, as we do have a lot of players running out of contracts very soon, including Jake Young still here, and Dobra, he's on the bench. Maybe can sell him, as we've got McPherson, or maybe the opposite way around, keep the 80 rated for the Champs League, because we'll need to stack our bench, probably starting with another goalkeeper, and apart from that, really, we look pretty damn solid. So we'll move on that straight away with Alberto Flores and Christian Bach, our left back, for the bench, as I'm relatively comfortable there with that bench. It's not the best of benches, but it's good enough because when we sign a player to this first team, with the 55 million we have to buy a first teamer, the player that is replaced will also move on to that bench. And I'm sorry to say I'm thinking about breaking up the Danish duo, as Jensen, 24, I don't know. I just don't fancy it. It's either he gets replaced or we do bring in that centre-back. And to be fair, looking at the age and also looking at the prices, centre-back is the option. And we should get him for fairly cheap, giving us money to put onto contracts and maybe back into the academy. Haven't touched it in a while, as they, fairly enough, want 38.5. And I'll give them 38.5. At least we've got another player right here. And that makes me feel confident on the right-hand side of defense now, with a right footer in the right position, and I just spoke on the academy. But the more I look at our budget, 13 million, if we keep that spare and fail next season, at least we'll have money to fall back on. And look how much he's grown. Beautiful De Winter, grown by 0. What a season. I thought it was going to be brilliant for us. As also, I see you, Dobra, so we have lost one of our players, and I believe it is Martins. Another one of those release clauses that are so hard to spot. And look at that, he's left the club to go to 90 rated, 112 million. Did we receive that ourselves? We started with 13 and no, about 99 million. So it's still not bad money-wise, or no, would have been 89 million, which isn't what he's worth, and I'm realizing I have made a mistake right here. We can't be in the UCL final because I've simmed towards the final day, putting us into the UCL next year in 4th, and we didn't win the league, 13 points off Man United, despite having good players, and Nottingham Forest doing very well this year. They beat us in the quarterfinals of the FA Cup, big shame, and Aston Villa beat us in the quarterfinals of the Carabao. Will a trophy ever come? As how did we do in the Champions League? Don't think we've won it, and we just finished below Man United in 20th in the league phase, above Atletico Bilbao though, who stole Martin's offers, as it was Milano, or Inter Milan, who beat us in the playoffs, not even reaching the round of 16. And it's a bit of a horrendous season, if I'm honest. We got quite a few 88 ratings, and where is he? There he is. Carlson, of course he's done good. When we bring this man in to replace him, he just somehow gets better at right centre-back, which he wasn't very good at last year. And Ricky with 30 goals. At least he's doing very well, and only 23 with an Italian call-up, and he's back up on the bench. I couldn't believe when I saw it was still young. Not a young, an old young, a 30-year-old young now, and the bench, overall, still could do with improvements. And shall we discuss this man? A 31-year-old Dobra. He wasn't too great at the start, or started even at the club. Signed from Chesterfield, and I believe got over 10 goals last season, as I see an injury to Minu. 7 days until fit. As it's a good Jobber at the start of the season, isn't it? 155 million, so only a budget of 45 million when we was competing in the Champions League. As we made 102 by selling Martins, as yes, I am going for a right mid. I do know Dobra's done well, but we need and can afford better at the moment, as Minter should play over him, but also share game time. So first and foremost, I am going to bring him in. And then on the other hand, sell Peralta, our bench midfielder. As like I said last year, I was going to break up the midfield trio or duo of the Danish, but now I don't know. maybe just a backup one, as that's the only position we really need on the bench to sign for. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. And could it be our final ever signing? The team looking fairly good now as it is, but Lennon Miller for 50.5 is too good to refuse upon. But I think the wage, I don't think that's going to be affordable. Nope, not affordable. We're going to have to look elsewhere. So instead, going cheaper with this Lewis Skelly guy? What's his bloody name? Yes, Lewis Skelly. I actually got it right. I was also thinking a left back with the rest of the 37 million. But instead, I'm going to stay on this contract page and not just sign the players up. I'm going to go in detail of what their contracts entail to make sure none of them, like Carlson, have a bloody release clause. I mean, look at that team. We have only simmed a season on. The players that we've been signing have been incredible. Look at it! 90 rated Ricky, he only came as an 82 rated, then Cater is a 90, Beadle is a 90. As even saying the letter B's just got me thinking about John Best. He's 98 rated at Bournemouth. Madness! We created a monster there, as I haven't finished the Prem season, so it's all up for grabs. Just finished before the UCL final. Chelsea could catch us. I think, yeah, Arsenal are out of the race. And then Bournemouth, you can see Jonathan Best carrying. If they've won something, Bournemouth, which they haven't done with the FA Cup, he could surely get a Ballon d'Or, as Arsenal beat us in the FA Cup. Now I feel bad for wearing their kit, as then in the Carabao Cup it is another quarter-final defeat. Aston Villa 3-1. And here's the Champions League, where we finish second and do get through, as I'm just realising again, Bournemouth, what are they doing here? Hard carry by Best. I mean, they've even got through the round of 16. We've got through the round of 16, but they did it the harder way. We got Club Brugge, and then we beat RB Leipzig, and Bournemouth beat Juve. I can't stop watching Bournemouth. He's got to win the Ballon d'Or, but maybe not, because Beadle and us put a stop to it. His old team beating them. And also, that's us in the final. How can we not deep that, really? We've got Real Madrid in the final of the UCL and Leeds in the final game of the Premier League season. If we do win this game, that is a Premier League title. But one thing I did notice, and I don't think it counts for this competition, Carlson did get suspended, but you can see right there, no red card. So think we can still use him, as the final thing to check is if we do have goal scorers, and we definitely do. As this is the third time on the channel taking a club all the way from League 2 of England to, of course, the final of the Champions League. They've got Mbappe, Jude Bellingham, the likes, and a pass through the middle there. Jensen is through. Could it be one? Oh my days. Expected the net to bustle. As you can see, I've got the wind monitor on. Maybe that's why he missed. Maybe the wind blew it over. As here comes Kylian Mbappe with a shot, trying to reply. And Branthwaite picked up a yellow as Minte sprinters done him bad. A shot from Kylian Mbappe, well wide of the mark. They should have punished us right there as Minte, oh my days, defenders dived in. If we could just cross that to Ricky, oh my days, how has that gone in? Ricky with maybe one of the best goals we will see all year round on this channel. I'm still in disbelief. Look at this for a shot. Jakob Minte with the cross in on the spin with the bicycle, a 0.24 expected, and bang off the crossbar. Oh my days. I'm going to watch that goal very much over and over again. That's if we win the game, of course, as Jude Bellingham trying to get a shot in. Is that going to be a penalty? I think it may be. We've scored the goal of the century, and then a brilliant right back just goes and does a stupid tackle. Can we actually catch a break here? Nope, it is a penalty, and it's going to be Rodrigo. Saved by the keeper, and Bellingham can't control it. What a let-off, man, as Jude Bellingham before halftime again. Real Madrid have been on top with shots, but not with possession. Seems they're wasting them a little bit as Ricky could he turn provider here. We've stole the ball up the field. Jensen, the keeper didn't come. Should have been 1-1, and then the player we've tried to replace quite a while, Jensen, comes up and scores. Now I feel quite bad for him. An outcast in the team, but then pops up in the UCL final to double our lead against Real Madrid, and the keeper What was he doing? All we've got to do now is keep them out and Mainu. What a tackle on Mbappe, as now we've won the ball with Keita. Look at the gap in the defense right here. It is Ricky through on goal. Jensen over the top, and it's Jakub Minte running behind. Minte from range. Good save by the keeper. And all we need here is a corner ball goal to kill the game off. No. Really needed that 3-0. Needed that comfort blanket, as this isn't from the header, of course. This is a different corner in the game, and left free for Carlson. What do we have to do for a third goal against Madrid? Look how awful that pass was in the middle, and Minte looking for Ricky. Hang on, but Ricky's putting up a fight here with Van der Veen. Mickey versus Ricky, and Ricky comes out on top and slides it in the bottom bins. Our striker grabs his brace. And what a move it was signing him. Yes, we lost a 98 rated, but we gained Ricky. As not long after that, the final whistle makes the stadium erupt, and Morecambe, the lowest club in football, have won the biggest trophy. Get it wrapped in bubble wrap and back on the plane to England. That said, I think this final's at Benfica Stadium, which I believe is a stadium we never lose at, as it's going to be Jared Branthwaite lifting the trophy high for Morecambe, the Shrimps. As if you want another big rebuild, comment who down below. As of the 27th of October, Tenerife in Spain are the worst club sitting rock bottom, despite being in the second tier over 10 years now. This is concerning for the league's historians, as just like with Bromley, bottom of the EFL, we go to Spain to try and save the worst Spanish club. As my job sounds simple, but it's actually very complicated to take the worst team to the best in Spain, beat the likes of Barca, beat the likes of Madrid, and eventually make it the world's best team. As yes, people, a new challenge. We take our manager to Spain to repeat what he did with Bromley. And if you haven't seen that rebuild, I highly recommend it, as we're rebuilding this team, and I don't know about the age of it. Is this a young team? As we've got some very good rated players, like a 23 Cruz, and oh no, they're not young. Yeah, the majority of the good ratings are actually a little bit on the old side, but it just adds to the challenge, as let's see what our budget is. It is 2 million, right? That should be good in our division. Only for season 1, then I do want it to shoot up. Oh, and also, I didn't mention this, but I have mentioned it in previous rebuilds. No more than 3 free agents a window. That stops us going crazy, as we have a 5-star scout, Ivan Gutierrez. Please help us out, mate. As for season number 1, like I always bloody say, the first and best scout goes to the place the team is in. We are scouting in Spain, as a 4-4-2 in Spain is weird. So first things first, I've got to go with tiki-taka. And actually, after checking, our players do suit a 4-4-2, but I'm gonna change it up, putting some flair with a Cameron CDM in, as that's everybody fitting the team and everybody in their suited positions. As the player that stands out mostly probably is Cruz. Then we have Cantero, who I believe used to be a young star, as this man definitely is. We've got Senhaji, 19, who is only on loan, and I've just realized that, god damn it. As speaking of loans, we are going to loan a lot of players out to make sure they grow, but in the meantime get a CDM, as is the best thing to do, actually sign from Barcelona, Mark Bernal. Now he hasn't got a player in-game face, but I'll shove the evaluation at him, hopefully signs a contract, as here he is, our first signing over in Spain with the worst team, or the lowest team in fact, is from one of the best in Barcelona. Brilliant signing in, but I just realized that took all our money up. So I'm gonna sell a few players like Waldo just for some spare change. As I have just realized as well, I do have it on sterling, not actually euros here in Spain, as we're loaning out players. My bad, but hopefully we won't have to spend much more this season, as we can rely on the academy with some very decent talent. Very good academy, and I will show you. I've loaned most of those. Like Signs, the goalkeeper, only 17. We've got Gonzalez, 17, and he's gone all the way to Belgium, but he's not as good as the man currently at the club, Maldonado. On Maldonado, we kept him as the stats for this season. Let's have a look. Cantero, the top scorer, and I'm celebrating because he's our youngest. Didn't want the old players scoring because their ratings obviously don't go up. And ooh, 21. Sabina, I haven't heard of him. He cannot have been in the first team as Bernal hasn't played much, but then again, another good thing, Cruz are right mid, cruising the way he's going about his business as Sabina is in the middle of the reserves and he somehow got the game time. That's actually brilliant, but you know what is more brilliant? If you do leave a like on the video, 1k likes unlocks another Spanish team. And also subscribe to the channel if you haven't done already. We are desperate to hit 50k before January the 1st. And that is going to be a challenge, as the first challenge is beaten. Not finishing bottom, as it's 13th for Tenerife. A number unlucky for some, as where did we get in the Copa de España? We did get to the quarterfinals, and then we lost to Real Betis. Unlucky, as we're not, of course, in the playoffs in this league, but we aim to be there soon, as that's a good first season. And also a very quick season. We did need to get the ball rolling as we are selling or releasing some of our very old players here. Kinda desperate to get rid of these four because they're just taking up bench space. And ultimately, well, we do have a lot of players, which we still aim to add to as somehow gifted 8 million. Don't ask how, why, or where that's even come from. But I can tell you the first thing we're doing, we're going straight to Gutierrez and letting him go and search the Spanish region again. And why not? I've gone ahead and paid for another scout because we can afford one. This time going Portugal, which I know is the neighbouring country. But if we can sign someone Portuguese who works in the Spanish league, I think we'd be quite lucky to though, but that would be a good thing for this team. As down in the reserves, anybody to add? We've got Sipsic, who I believe was out on loan away from the club last year. He can go into the defense, as I don't think things are working in the midfield, and also Sabina, could we replace him? I just think with the money we've got, we probably could. And we've got Maldonado at the club, but here's Machanda. He's at a big club in racing, only 19 though, potential, and we actually can afford him with his contract seizing up. As what a signing. Instead of bringing a Portuguese to the club, we're actually bringing a Uruguayan, which reminds me of Luis Suarez, who actually won't be alone though, because I feel bad dragging him all the way to Spain. So in comes another Uruguayan, Herrera, as centre-back. A little bit less potential though, but we did get him for cheaper than we could have done, and I'm always happy with that, and plus we needed to save some money. Bernal survives in the team for an extra season, as we've got to pay contracts to the first team and also the youth we're bringing through. Some very good players, as I've got most of them out on loan, and most of them doing well. We've got Menendez at Preston, De Mesquites at Leganes, I believe that are in our league, or Levante, I mean, sorry, as then also Nacho Moya. We can see his stats. He's got 4 goals in 15 games as an 18-year-old, but we've got better players at the club. Machado, oh my days. Now, he has scored 11 goals, but when you do look at his rating, that's +9. He's had a very good season, as the team has on the whole, but you might realise something about our right-hand side here. No Cruz in the squad. We've got Guerreiro, and also we've loaned a lot of players out, but that is a very loose team. We started with 41 players, now we're into the 30s, and we've got £15 million. That's no coincidence. As one thing that is extremely difficult about managing in Spain is all the bloody release clauses. Look at the players we've lost. At least we've got a decent academy, which is still giving us players through as 10th in the league. It's increasing, but it's not there yet. As a round of 16 appearance again, losing to Oviedo though. Not the worst thing in the world, as we've now got to step it up a notch. And in season number 3, does that mean scrapping the academy? Because we need to put some money into our actual players now. We've only bought 3, and you can see Machado was a good buy, Bernal was an okay one, and Herrera a bit of a failure. Still, we've got the players down here to make up our team, including Pereira, who I didn't see before. Very good rating. Only 23, you know, and the best thing about being here in Spain, the board actually let us keep the money we have made last season, and that'll go a long way, as for one season and one season only, I'm not using that academy because I'm focusing on buying talent. And positionally, well, it's gotta be the right hand side, maybe replace Dauda, and maybe replace the centre backs. centre-backs. We don't have any good youth centre-backs, so he could probably do with some of those. As the first man I'm looking at is Stelios Andreu. Signing him from Charleroi, and I'm hoping he can be here long-term. As I'm also hoping this man is here long-term, as back-to-back we sign a superhero Ant-Man from Go Ahead Eagles. As there's our new fixed-up team, we've got two very good players in, and still, believe it or not, 7 million to spend. As I am wary of contracts, including Sands, who should be a future keeper. Maybe get him out on loan, it's just the release clauses I'm worried about. And big players like Teto, I might have to renew. Make sure they can't be stole, as I'm sorry, I'm just thinking defenders again. We've got 3 good strikers at the club, we've got youth players growing on the wings, and I'm trying to look around leagues where you might not expect players to be hiding, such as in the Norwegian league. We do have Andreas Christiansen, who I am going to actually deny a release clause for in Spain, as the centre-back version of Haaland joins Tenerife on a cheap fee, and I'm hoping this season, could it be promotion? Yes, it has to be promotion this year, as the first thing I'm going to check is have we actually lost some players, and we have Alves and Guerrero. At least that's actually it. So we've lost 2 players to release clauses, and we haven't lost anyone good. Get in, we should have our best players. As this is the current squad, and you can see it's very tired at the end of the year. Machado 81, we've got Teto also 81. Down in the reserves as well, we've got Demesquites, the youth player, who does go into this team, and look how good that looks. As if that isn't promoted, I'm genuinely going to be angry, and you can see it is third, 3 points off top spot, but that wasn't automatic, as of course we're not winning this trophy. Round of 32 this year of the Copa de España, and in the semi-finals it's a huge win over Zaragoza, meaning Real Sporting is the team we'll face in the finale, and it goes our way. You can see 3-2 on aggregate, means the worst team in Spain and now in the best division there. And what about player stats? I think I already know where we sign next year. Right back, as it's Sabina with the most goals, 23-year-old, 75 rated, and then Machado 21 hitting an 81. Yeah, strikers aren't an option. We've also got a decent player on the bench. As we know where we sign this year, it just has to be at right back. Medina is a good player, and I'm sure he's going to be a good backup, but do we really need him right now? And do we continue with our academy? Because that is where he come from. It all depends on our budget. And under 30 million in the top division may be hard to survive upon. So yes, maybe again we just say goodbye to using our scouting network. For youth players that is, but definitely not our overall scouts. As they've been bringing in good players, but I'm going to go myself right here and search for a right back, because I do have a player in mind. And an actual real player this time. We haven't got any Brazilian flair here. So I'm going to try and sign Arthur, who's a right back predominantly, in his final year of contract, and we should be able to afford him. Go on, just over 10 million. Let's have a steal on this 24-year-old. And that's exactly what we get. So welcome to the club, Arthur. I'm hoping he's best at right back, but I wouldn't mind moving him if we're actually required to, but his shooting isn't too good, nor is his passing, so I think right back's the best slot. As my next thought for this team, well, first I want to see how young our players are, because I was thinking about replacing Bernal, the CDM. But with Pereira 24, yes, he's done well on his loan out, but if we actually sell him out the club, use the money we've got and the money we make, we could actually sign a big player. The only problem is we're not getting bids. We are for Machado from some very decent clubs right here, but I just keep on rejecting them. We need to survive in this league, and I feel the best way to do so is actually stay with the players we've got and just loan out the youth, like Fran Navarro. He didn't do too well last season. Same with this man, German Maldonado, who we actually went and sold, and we've also sold Medrano. And finally Pereira, he gets a move to Sevilla, and our budget gets a move back up to 29 million, which in my opinion is enough to go and get another world superstar. The only issue is it's another bloody youth player. We will sign some real life players very shortly, in fact. But for now, all we can afford is players just slowly rising. So welcome to the club, Kimura. Probably more than we wanted to pay, as hopefully his potential can carry us to Survival. As every single player should have printed in their forehead, in the inside of their forehead, an eyelid Survival, as that is what we've grabbed, and we've done it very emphatically. 11th in La Liga. That is perfect. The other teams coming up who actually finished above us now going down as Getafe. They went and won the Copa de España as we crashed out to Granada in the round of 16 this year. Getting quite consistent here. Just need to make that next step. Then we might land ourselves winning a cup as this team looks a very good team. You can see we've got some 80s, some 79s. But the place we've got to watch is the bench at this current moment in time because only one striker in reserve, Moya. Which, let's be honest, doesn't look good. You don't really trust him to score goals. Although he did get 8, as the other two got 15. Goals for Kimura and Ant-Man. Very nice. As we do have a striker to come back in Ethan next year. And it's a good job he's coming back, as 30 million for this season. And that is very low. Very low, and I'm going to tell you why. As last year I thought, screw it, I'm going to let some older and youth players that haven't worked run out of contract, but you can see we've not got any players left. As my first protocol was to sell this man, Ant-Man, or we might have to just keep him now, but at least replace him in the starting 11. And I wanted to actually replace him with Kimura, our current player, 2 weeks to a right mid, and I do have a cam in mind. But to sign the cam, again, we'll need more money than we've currently got as a bid in for Ant-Man. Okay, we might actually have to sell him. As Union, 16 million, please. You've got to give us that money. And there he is leaving as we do get our evaluation. Giving us 40 million pounds now. That's a lot more to spend in the top division. As I've got that player in mind, but will he take us to the promised land of European football? Not even asking for Champions League, as a man currently in it is Ansu Fati. What a brilliant signing this would be. I think we should be able to afford him. 35 million. Go on with a high sell-on clause, as that has been accepted. But in the meantime, Kimura, we will change him and his rating doesn't increase. And brilliant, Ansu goes and rejects our contract. So no, we don't get our star man who I really wanted to sign this season. So instead, making a big move, probably a shock move for Leipzig, going and getting his backup in Asan Drago. This little wonder kid hopefully makes all the difference for us. As by the way, where's our man? Where's Ethan gone, who was out on loan? Okay, so he's still at Nottingham Forest on a loan, which I'm going to recall him from. 99k. I need him back for this first game soon, as he can go and start up front in a very good first team, but that bench severely neglected. And I have to say right now, I hope you guys are enjoying watching this save, because honestly doing this save is starting to really frustrate me. Release clauses are a thing, and I could not take it out of Ethan's contract. 1.8 million. He's walked to Villarreal, basically on a free, and he would have been in our starting 11, and we could have got 30 million for him. We've just thrown money down the drain, whilst having 19 players ourselves. 19. That's it. Spanish football, why? Why do we have to have release clauses? Even when I'm negotiating myself, they're integrated into the contracts of these players, as we've got some very decent ones. Machado's now 86, only 23. Very nice. Then Ouedraogo's done very well. And also the centre-back Christiansen. He's one of our main men, and apart from having a weak bench at the moment, the starting 11 is good. Very good. Better than last year. As goals are better than last year, it is 20 by Machado. As can we keep him here very long? Because clubs probably want him now. But do we want to keep him? Because in our second season, UEFA Europa League, it's not Champions League, but it's a goddamn improvement above Atletico Madrid, who unfortunately win the Copa de España. We were out in the round of 16 again to Sociedad. Another team we finished above, as please give us a bigger budget next year for a starting keeper and for a stronger bench. As finally a bigger budget, we've got 81 million pounds, finally getting some money for finishing higher in La Liga. As I'm actually intrigued, where do the board want us to finish? Champions League group stage? I don't believe we're in the UCL. Or I didn't believe we were in it. We must be with that objective. Very good from this squad, but this squad that has to get better. As again, look at the bench. We don't even have 9 players on it. Only the 8 right there, and that's really gonna cost us. Having no experience off the bench, as actually I've got an idea. Free agents, maybe. Now, I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I'm gonna check through this long list, see if anybody's bench worthy, and then if we have 70 million left over, we go and spend it on some first team players, as here's the bench one. The first one's this man. Miguel was his first name, as the second one, Alex Cardero. 2 good ones right there, but don't forget there was a 3 free agent rule, as this guy's the final one, Pablo Navas. 20-year-old, 79 rated, good potential. Just unfortunately enough, he's competing with Victor. As that's the bench kind of improved, it's the best we could do with our rules. As now we move to the first team, and of course we can drop these down. For example, if we do replace Andrew, he goes onto the bench as a centre-back, and we get a player higher than 82 to replace him in the first team. But it's not him we want to replace. We want to replace the keeper with Jelavic, who looks very good for the future, and just accepted a bid of 19 million, as we get an offer for our current keeper, 22 million pounds. Or I thought that was the case anyway, but he has rejected our deal. So we're going to go keeper shopping again once we've sold our current one. As there is Carrasco, he's chosen Celta Vigo. And we've chosen Bart Verbruggen of Brighton. Or in this saves case, he's coming from PSG. A terrific goalkeeper who selling Carrasco allowed us to get. As maybe selling Andreo allows us to get a better centre-back. Yes, it is a league rival. We're selling him to in Barcelona. But that amount of money for an 82 rated? Too good to turn down, as I'm moving on to another Dutchman. To join Bart Verbruggen is hopefully Sven Botman, as he's joining us for 39 million, not all our money, as the other half of the share goes into a CDM. Welcome Martel. He didn't get a good introduction, but he's 28 years old. And he's 83 overall. Not much improvement in him, but some other players like Wedrago and Machado, almost touching the 90s, is very good. As I've seen Christiansen, he's actually stalling a little bit. As how have I just noticed how nice the kit is as well? Very nice, I've got to say, as our top scorer's not gone up much, but Kimura and Sabina are actually both with 20. That is a lot of goals, you know, and we've been in a lot of competitions, but CD Tenerife have gone and won the La Ligue. Yes, I tried to make that rhyme, but we've gone ahead of the El Clasico teams, and Tenerife somehow winning La Liga at the 3rd time of asking, and oh my god as well, we've won the Copa de España. We're dominating Spain. Unreal. And oh my days, we haven't got the best team of all teams. All players, I don't know what I'm saying, but still, we finished 2nd in the league phase. That's of the Champions League, as then we went through to Monaco. Yeah, work to be done in Europe, understandable. With 29 million left, have we actually gone and lost a player? Doesn't look like it, no. We haven't lost anybody to a pre-contract or release clause, whatever, as we've got to make sure Teto doesn't leave. But then again, 84, probably one of the weakest in the squad. But still would be harsh to sell him. He's been here from the bloody start, as this team's only getting started, because now we've got to win the UCL. As what we into now, Season 7, I believe. It's always Season 7 where we usually get our luck. But we've got to create our luck, and we've got to spend our money. 119 million, as who won the UCL last year? Well, judging by the Super Cup, I believe it will have been Paris, or maybe Napoli, but still, I think Paris are the team to beat. I mean, we did take their keeper last year, but I only just realised they do have Donnarumma, and they do have this man, Ricky. So to beat them head-to-head, it's going to be one hell of a challenge. As I think the first challenge is, again, getting some youth for the bench. Or maybe not even youth, but again, going to the free agents, because Dawson, come on. We can't be in the UCL with him. Wouldn't make much sense, although he is a La Liga winner. I want someone stronger, and Daryl DK is definitely that. As welcome Daryl, he's come from West Brom's release, and weirdly enough, he comes with Louis Barry, a player I just grabbed for the bench as there he sits, who actually has been in La Liga before with Barcelona. So not fully unrealistic, as this man isn't as well. Roger Fernandez, if we can bring him from Milano to our La Liga winning side, as I've always said I wanted a Portuguese player, and this man would sit ahead of a Portuguese left back. Really want him in, but he's gone and rejected our deal. As him rejecting the bid just reminds me of another player to reject us. As how you doing, Ansu? It looks like your potential isn't working out there. Playing for Leipzig in the Bundesliga. Come back home. We need you, as hopefully he could switch it up a little by becoming a left mid and fixing our problems with Teto, because I just don't have faith in him. And Ansu's a year younger, and of course he can unlock potential, but for now he's sat on the bench as a cam for Wedraugo, who used to be his backup, but now is the first choice. And it serves you right, Ansu Fati, for rejecting us the first time, as 73 million for some bench players. Come on. Need some backup talent, so Elche deals the first one, and then Elia Caprile as a backup goalkeeper. A very good one at that, as look at the transformation on the bench, and also in the first team with this God squad. As Champions League again, I'm hoping we've reached the final this time, as I'm going to show you that first, because there was some wild teams in it. Yes, I already kind of know what's going on by checking this table, as look at this. I mean, look at the top half. Lazio, Salzburg are in it, and just look at the teams around the playoff round. As we go ahead and win our game against PSV 4-1. Then we beat Leverkusen on penalties, a squeeze. As look at the quarter-final teams, we do beat Bayern Munich though. Chelsea out, Napoli out, even Wolfsburg are out at this rate. As then in the semi-finals, we end up beating West Ham United. And we do have Stade Rennais in the final. Can you believe it? The French side, who aren't even the best French side. As to be fair though, we aren't even the best Spanish side. With a second place finish to Villarreal of all teams. We do win the Supercopa though. Can we have that as a trophy? I might just squeeze it in there. But if not, it doesn't matter. As we also made a final of the Copa de España, losing to Sevilla, and I would have rather won that one. Still, what are you gonna do? As this is what our team does look like. Christiansen in there, we've got Wedrago, Machado. In fact, 2 90 rated strikers, one that started at the club. And in terms of scoring, he was the top scorer. As Ansu Fati, unfortunately on the bench, he did not manage to break into this team, as we need to break this team out on the winning side of this UCL finale. As Robin on the ball for Stade Rennais. I just can't believe we're playing them, as we've lost the ball straight away. They might get the first chance here. Martel brings the ball away though onto Machado. Come on, Machado. The better version of Suarez as he keeps on the run, does our 90 rated. Look at the turn. Bought him as a youngster from Argentina. And that should have been a goal. We should be 1-0 up already in our 7th and usually lucky season 7, but this is a run for them. And that is a good tackle, no? Don't think it's gonna be, as, oh my days, it's just a warning. Very lucky not to get sent off, our left back. Masquites. João Pedro he took out, as the free kick's going to be Riders. It's off the post and bounces. We might have got the block in there. And we did, but it was offside. Still very good work to block it. As now Kimura, the captain, cuts inside with the ball onto Sabina. He should probably be the captain. The man's been here from the start. As he tries a chance from range, and now Wedrago needs a ball through. That's a good pass as well. Into Kimura, right side of the defender. If he can put it across the box. Into Sabina again. 2 huge chances for our Spanish star, or should be star, as please win that header. Handball. That was an obvious block, that one. Stopped Machado on the run, but still he's got the ball as Machado. Into Arthur with the tricky feet. Still getting the ball away. It's our right back, Arthur, and he scores off the post We are beating Stade Rennais just before the halftime mark. And if you would have asked me who's the man to score the goal, I would have never said Arthur. I believe I said his shooting was bad. Yes, when we talked about his positioning at the start, I said he'd not be a good right mid because his shooting was low. Then he goes and pulls that off. I can't believe he's just scored it, but still we need an extra goal. Stade Rennais we should be killing off. As Kimura through the middle, he's slightly out wide. If he could get that across the box, Sabina taps it in. The man from the start doing the flips in the UCL finale, and I think it should be game done. Still, this is on a knife edge, as they started the better in this game, and that is a brilliant tackle, Martel. Still, we might go for more. The more they open up, the more chances we try and take. As look at the footwork here from Sabina. Doing it all himself, and Machado's not helping out, but he's done a sweet turn, and he goes off the crossbar. What a chance for 3, as now Christiansen, that's a good interception. Kimura through the middle onto Martel. We're Drago, we're playing this round with confidence, waiting for the run of Kimura. And he's got it, the assist king. Can he return it to Sabina? He can. Through on goal in the last minutes of the game. It is saved. Drago, can now we get it into the goal? We don't with Teto, our day 1 winger, but we have done it. Tenerife win the UCL, and we've turned the worst club in Spain to the best one, as we've just seen the trophy go into the cabinet, but it's now in the hands of our winger, who was such a good signing all the way back in our first season in La Liga. As speaking of La Liga, if you do want another Spanish club, comment who below, and I will get onto them. Cittadella, what a beautiful looking city. A medieval walled city rich in history. But same can't be said for their football team in the Serie B, rock bottom of the league, and the worst team in Italy. Joint bottom of the division, and relegation this season could mean the first in Serie C since 2015-16. So despite a small budget, they're hiring me with big ambitions, as I turn to Italy to continue rebuilding the worst clubs. Yes, people, we've conquered England with Bromley, Spain with Tenerife. Now it's the turn of the Italians, and this team doesn't look so bad. Few 60s, few 70s, and the squad size, meh. Could be a bit larger, but honestly, that's not bad. The issue, I believe, with this team, yes, we've got 25 players, is it's not only a medieval city, but it's got some medieval players. Not meaning to be harsh, but come on, we've got quite a few over 30, and they are our best players, so we've got some work to do. With 3 million euros, not good. Definitely not bad. As one objective today as well, as always when rebuilding the worst clubs, is we can't sign over free agents. That's our only rule today. Wanted to get that out of the way straight away, as I'm not liking the formation. Then again, all the players fit it, and I think we've got to just work to our strengths. And I think tiki-taka is good for narrow formations, passing the ball around in diamond shapes, as I'm going to try and put the best players onto the field, like so. And this is okay, right? We should be surviving in this division, as there seems to be 2 weak spots, striker and left centre-back. But before we get into signings, right, who are our hidden gems? We've got Cassano, the striker / Cam, looking very decent. Riza, probably a loan deal for him. He's not going to play. And Matteo Angeli, if we can bring a centre-back in first, he can go out on loan because he actually looks pretty decent with 81 pace. Just get his defending and physical stats a little bit up. And the job should be a good one, as the first thing I'm releasing youth players, which does extend the budget. You can see there's been some wage cuts. Yes, I've just discovered that in FC25 for playing some months now. When you do release youth players, you get a little bit more money. But the money we have made, it's going straight back into the academy. Italy's the place first. We have got to find some hidden gems. See if we can grow anything ourselves to fit this formation, as yes, I'm gonna stick with this tactic, and I definitely need another centre-back. Not finishing bottom 3 is my primary objective this season, as there's a good player right there, Simeone Pieriacini in the Serie B, but I'm going to look to the Serie A. Alan Maturo, he's not Italian, but on a loan deal. This guy could be decent, left-footed, only 19. And do we really need a loan, you know? We could just afford this guy outright. Add a little bit of a sell-on clause. Let's see if that's any good. It is. Oh my god, that was the easiest signing I think I've ever made. Over the line immediately, and I did give him a crucial role, so he should start in the team as I'm starting to look up front again. I'd like a younger striker, and in my head I've got some ideas for the future because there's some good Italian wonder kids. Oh, but the wage on Maturo, I didn't realise. The wages of the other players, he's on 4 times what Branca's on. Then again, he's in a 5-year deal, so if we do need to sell him on, pretty sure we'll make some profit as 1 million. That is fine for now. We just won't rush this first season, and we'll just spend the rest on youth, with a couple of decent players begging for loan deals away. Don't really fit the team yet, as I have got the majority out, or all of them out on loan. I didn't realise how far I actually went with it. Ferrari is the best player, and how bloody fitting is that for a name? Ferrari, the Italian, the youngster, it just has something to it. Dialiso does, he's coming back, he's a real life player. And Rizza went to Sweden, he's looking very good, the name's quite funny. Rizza, I mean, yeah, you know what I'm alluding to right there. As anyway, the best players at the club is Castrati and Cassano. Cassano looks exciting as well. Only 21 years of age, 8 goals. That is 1 less than Alicio Vita. Our best player in this squad is Maturo, stated to 68. Decreases with Salvi, our right back, who's 36. Yeah, but all round, I think it's been good. We've had players training. We've got Tessiore doing well. Rabbi could be something. If we do get his growth right on the whole, as that's not bad. 12th for Cittadella. I mean, it's a lot better than in real life. Same with Suttirol, joint bottom with Cittadella at the time of recording. Spezia all the way down there. And I do have a soft spot for them. Went to the stadium in the summer. Check the Instagram linked below to see that one. As beaten in round 1, 1-0 of the Coppa Italia. Catanzaro, as them teams are the ones we've got to try and compete with. And I believe all of those sides are very strong on paper. Stronger than what we have, but I know something that will make us stronger. If you guys hit the like button, we are on a race to 800 likes. Not the 1k we usually after. Try to be a little more realistic, and also try and help the channel by subscribing down below. If you do hit that subscribe button, let me know down below, as we've got 3 million in the budget, again the same as last year. If we just don't make the same mistake with Maturo's wage this year, as to be fair, he's an exciting prospect, so maybe it wasn't all bad. Signed him up for 5 years, as where's our youth players, they all should be back. And Piero Ferrari showing great potential, and I want to exploit it. As first things first, we don't play wingers, and I'm not going to change the formation for him. Just gonna change his position as if he could become a cam. That could help us massively, as I haven't gone with a scout this year yet. Just checking on the other players, as Andrea Pamlumbo could be decent, as all my days. It isn't another Mancini, is it? Is this Mancini's son? Have we got him in the academy? We can just pretend we have, but no, I'm not going to use him just yet. Gonna sign a striker first, before the academy, before anything. No one for us last year scored more than 10 goals, which we need to try and better. But it's going to be a challenge, because even 20-year-olds costing 2 million. At a 66 rating, want to go lower? Is this man? Mohamedou Diarra. Okay, he's at 1.8. Checking in Austria this time, because I feel like you can get some cheap bargains. As this looks a lot more like it, we've got Leon Grigic, the Austrian. Or Grigic is it? But I tell you what a deal we've got on this man. Less than £1 million for surely a starting striker in seasons to come. He's one of 9 subs, so yeah, he should still get his place firmly on that bench. As going back to the first team, the position I am obviously obviously neglecting. Right back must be sorted before we even touch the youth academy. And this could be interesting. I've literally flicked to loan players. And there's only one in world football currently available, and he's an Englishman. Lucas Stephenson, 21-year-old at Liverpool. Never even heard of this man, but if we could get a loan to buy, could be excellent, as please just give us him for 1 million. His wage is very high. Yes, and that's very good, right? It is pending on the deal, but then it says a transfer sum of 1.85 million. Arne Slot. Did he deceive me as a manager somehow? Because we definitely can't afford that one. I've been tricked. Oh my days. Well, yeah, I'm not going to be stupid. I've gone and cancelled that deal as Tobias Storm instead. Okay age, good potential, great wage, and of course fits our first team. As hang on, what's happened here? Is Stevenson still coming to the club? I mean, I guess it was a loan to buy. We actually haven't bought him just yet. And at least he's spare to have. Hey, he might even play ahead of our current one. As long as Storm probably gets some game time in spells. Alright then, this season, it is slightly going up, but is it really going up? Because it's 10th from 12th. Improvement, I mean Spezia, good to see them. Frosinone down there, sorry BCHD. As then Cremonese on top. Fair play to them, they've been on a journey as we have our journey stopped in the Coppa Italia. 3-1 to Udinese. Scoring against the Serie A team, that's where it all starts, as that's the playoffs, which we've got to aim for next season. We don't want to just go 8th. Jumping up 2 by 2, it would get boring, as this is how our team's looking. This is definitely not boring, because there's growth, there's decreases, the retirements. Because Branca, our captain, unfortunately, won't see any promotions, and Maturo hasn't played, but still gone to a 73 overall. Weird, as on the bench though, and Jelly's done pretty decent. Storm and Grigic, oh no. They're definitely going to need loan deals. As I'm going to swap Pavan for Angeli. Don't swap Maturo because that looks better. As another switch in the midfield, Casolari in, and that looks good. Very good. Cassano, 74. He's our cam. And that is bad for Piero Ferrari. Now it's a 72. What do we actually do here? Pandolfi, our top scorer? As we want to keep on improving, but do we take the risk of the formation change? This man's seriously putting a spanner in the works because he's got to go and play. And I'm not talking out on loan, I'm talking in the first team, as he can go on the bench now. As could Cassano be a winger? I'm going to try and switch this actually looking at it with this angle, because we could keep a cam and then go right wing, left wing. Get rid of the false 9, make Pandolfi a target forward, and have this shape on paper inside forwards. Very narrow, but narrow fits us with a lot of sentiments, as hang on, everybody looks to be in position. Swap Ferrari onto the left hand side. That looks a very decent lineup. Defense looking good. Stevenson obviously comes out for Storm. Ooh, and our new youth players, the 2 that have been out on loan already. Gatti looks decent, Messina looks decent, Desogus pretty goddamn good, and Gergic for a loan this year because we can't let his potential stall. One player I don't want stopping us, come on board. They've tried to back us. 4 million euros instead of 3. I mean, that's the best we'll get. For finishing 10th, I don't mind it, as I might keep Ferrari as a right winger, go and get a left, and then probably work on the right back. Still trying to keep my distance with free agents, but one might come into play, as the only loan to buy this season is Samuel Amo Amayao. Very good, but when I saw his wage package, I just said no thank you. As then when checking transfer listed, they're only old Prem players. Any chance of a youngster? Well, maybe. As a free agent, we could find one. Arsene Sidibe, then again, I don't want to go free agents. But this man just has me thinking Gervinho, the Ivory Coast winger, who did play over in Italy with Roma and Palma. And for that reason, yeah, I'm going to cave. I'm going to get my first free agent, a wonder kid, and now I'm probably going to keep away from those. Don't like to push my luck with them, as Sidibe comes in and Vita drops out the team because I'm going to trust the captain Amatushi, as Storm has failed to cook up a storm and has to go. Sorry, buddy, it's not worked out, as these 2 are the loan listed. Gonna keep on looking at the loanies because these 2 look very decent. Marcudado with a low wage demand plus a couple of play styles. He's just screaming my name. So again, I'm going loan to buy. 1.75 agreed upon, which is excellent. Welcome to the Spaniard. We're trying to become the new Como. But obviously the money doesn't come straight out of the bank, so we've got to be wary. 1.75 of that 4 has to go on his buy obligation, leaving us not much to deal with, around 2 million, I would say. And instead of going for a better player, I'm going to upgrade the scout to Radic. Get rid of Coppola, go Italy, and do we find anything here? Well, a month down the line, it's still Mancini leading the way. And I'll be the most shocked man in existence if we haven't got promoted after this year. As look at some of the ratings. Jurado, what a deal it was we made on him. 71 rating. I'm guessing his rating's gone up by the other players. As Amatucci, right, I didn't actually show you what happened with this guy. You may have saw him moments ago as a centre mid like 68 or 69. Change him to a DM and his rating goes up almost 10. It was unreal what just happened, as we've still got some more players to promote. Or change as Tronchin, he doesn't have the same impact. Maybe D'Alessio does, but no, again, he doesn't grow. One of the players that hasn't really worked out who was younger, and it's a shame, they don't all work out. As how's our loan boys worked out, right? We've loaned most of the academy out. As Alex Mancini, it must be one of the Mancini's sons. Unreal, 72 rated, and he's fresh out of the academy. He's overtook Messina and Gatti, who went on loan to Ulm. And then the man underneath it, the striker we desperately wanted to work out. Unlike Storm has, Grugic, he's gone to Salzburg. Over there in Austria as Jurado, I thought we could buy him, as I don't want to terminate his loan. I want to bloody sign him permanently. Maybe if I skip a few days, as we actually have an 80 rated as well. Castrati, who surely has to be the Albania starting keeper. Taking over Strakoshka as Piero Ferrari. Our youth man with 19. And Jurado Aloni got 7 goals. From right back, sensational, as the league form was as well. 30 wins year round, as the games aren't over, but we can't be caught by Sassuolo, as that is the Serie C trophy. Or Serie B, sorry, I forgot. There's only 2 leagues over here in Italy. Still no luck in the Coppa Italia though, out in round 1 to Brescia, who we should be leaving here in the 2nd division. They're still in that division below, as we are now in the Serie A. As the more I actually look at this team, do we really need to sign Jurado? He's left behind rating wise, as we need to sort this bench out, as that's the best we'll get. And to be fair, even that's not looking good. But what's looking even worse, and I can't believe this is a top division budget, 10 million euros. Are we even wanting to survive? As that begs the question further, do we actually go and sign the right back up? We do have the option now, and to be fair, it's 1.75 million. I'm gonna have to do it, come on. Yes, we're gonna pay it and sign his contract, but only give him a rotational, because I think he could be replaced in the future. Here he is though, for now, from Espanyol. Very good deal. Just a shame he doesn't reach the level, as one player that could very soon will change to this menu, Mancini, who doesn't look very defensive, as I wanted him a CDM, but he might have to try Cam. As if we could change some players around, like De Sogus to a winger, Cassano to a winger, but that really wouldn't help the shape. Because I'm starting Grugic up front with Ferrari and Sidibe. Very good youngsters, so it's hard to take them out the team. As my first thoughts, we need to replace fullbacks, but first the money scenario needs to be improved, as I'm going to transfer list our keeper. A 17.4 million for a 30-year-old with a plan to then maybe get a free agent or get a younger keeper to grow, which could be a risk, as we're selling him for that price tag you just saw. 17.4 million, and that's not bad for a 30-year-old at all. Come on, as I'm going to check the free agents. Anyone worthwhile? Well, we still scroll in the A's, and Alphonse Areola pops up. Yeah, I'm not wasting any more time. Sure, he's the same rating as the old one, 4 years older than the old one, but still has cost us nada or nothing, as there he is. He goes straight into the lineup for this season, as I probably want another pair of fullbacks, then maybe a younger keeper. For the bench, as a player I've signed before and made a lot of money on. Hopefully do the same here. It is Flavio Nazinho. Sign him up on a fee of 5 million and now go and find the much needed right back, as this man would definitely do if we can afford him, Pedro Lima. Made sure we paid all the contracts out first because this man cost the big bucks, leaving us no money at all for that potential backup keeper we thought about. Hopefully learnt with this player after last time around. He's bloody brilliant. You have to get him in your teams if you are going for a right back to stay there, as him and Ferrari on one wing, Sidibe and Nazinho. It's not as good, but then the team is a lot better. We've got Gurgic, hopefully scoring. 79 rated. Cassano is an 80 with Mancini not far behind him, 75. That is some amazing growth. Then in the reserves, we've got a left back in Carizoni, who's been here all the time, and a youth player I didn't loan out in Gatti, 72. Italian Stallions of centre backs just love to grow, as I saw a high rating there. Out on loan, it is Rizza, and I'm glad he's grown just with his name. Mr. Riz, as then all my days. Storm's done well out on loan. Tessiore, loans this year just seem to be broken. Everybody improves apart from Palumbo. Still, I think that's an increase. Same with these lads down here. Yes, it's not high, but it is going up. And I believe in the Serie A, you don't need a strong bench, just a strong first team with scorers like Sidibe and Ferrari to threaten the Milans. As let's face it, Juve a little drop off, it's Inter we have to worry about. Players like Lautaro Martinez, although he's only 30, or already 30, that's good for us, as Pisa, Udinese and Salernitana down. Probably rush their names as we finish 12th, this time in the top division. A lot better with Bologna up there and the team on top. Just flicked off the menu there. It is Inter, 88 points, which is great, and for the first time ever, we win round 1 of the Coppa Italia against Südtirol in the league below, to then beat Brescia, who usually bet us in this competition, but then we lost to Roma, of course one of the strong teams. As we're trying to get there with strength ourselves, look at this. I mean, it's only going up. Our front four in this team are absolutely phenomenally good. And when I do check on my notes, I am very, very surprised with the lack of signings we've made. Mostly first team is still here, as 18 million euros this season. Not good, not bad. And I'll tell you the reason it's not bad is because we can sell to buy. Yes, everybody in this first team is probably good enough to be there, with the weakest being Cassolari, Angeli and Nazinho, but he's a new signing. We've got 2 strikers at the club, so Gurgic gets another chance. And I'm thinking the first replacement has to be Cassolari. Not only have we got Mancini, who we're yet to change the position of, Storm's actually come back. And to be fair, could he play CDM at the moment? Or could Rizza move to midfield? Because he's got no chance with 2 left backs already. And also Tessiore, he's come back from his loan stint out. You know the power we've got in loaning players out as Alriola retiring at the end of the season, so we probably need another goalkeeper. But that's next year's problem. First, Cassolari goes on the transfer list, and Mancini doesn't, but he does have to change his positioning as he goes up by 1 to a Cam, only 19-year-old. This also causes a problem because we have 2 very decent Cams. Or should we call it 3, maybe 4, but Disogu's a bit behind. As could we sell one of these to try and make a little bit of extra money? I'm going to look to try and do so, but Cassolari from Leicester, another huge bid, to be fair. It's a player going into his prime. Take that all day long, as I've simmed literally 2 days on, and a bid for Claudio Cassano. I'm going to try and get more out of Tottenham, though. As the first one out the door, though, the man we immediately want to replace. Premier League football for Federico Cassolari. And same can be said for Claudio Cassano, taking our almighty budget to £87 million, or euros, my bad, as the first position CDM/centre mid, so actually, I'm not going to select anything in particular. And my objective is to check the Prem, La Liga, Ligue 1, find the best Italian talent that has gone elsewhere. As the first one, hopefully, is this guy Cesar Casede. Should be good as a DM, and he comes from the Chelsea youth ranks. Very happy with that one, but we're not done shopping from the Premier League as Eli Capriel believe that's how you say the Italian shot stopper. He comes from the Premier League, Southampton, 34 million. Making our team look like this. I mean, the first team's already completed, and yes, it might have got weaker, especially in that cam position, but not for long because Mancini obviously will come good here. I believe in him as now probably just 2 spare midfielders needed. And who can we get? Because I still kind of want to keep my eyes outside of Italy. We only stayed in the Premier League. Maybe there's something in the Bundesliga. And there is. He's not Italian. I would have liked to get one in personally, but he's a 6'8" monster, Skelly from Gladbach or Werder Bremen, and I'm happy with that. He has cost 9.9 million, meaning we won't have money for another player. We've just got to put that into the wages. Everybody signed up, and I think this is the first time ever our striker's not been by far our best player. In Gergic could be replaced, but he's only 23 as our right-hand side. I'm hoping that's carried us through with the 2 that are 22. Lima and Ferrari. I can't believe we got a good name like that. And then a lot of good ratings like so. As Amatucci, well, him and Casade been studying their stats for a long time, as 2 weeks till a DM for Cesare. And then this man Francesco, right, just look at his stats for a moment. 91 pace, 88 physical. Would he be better off as a centre-back? Only 2 weeks till he grows there. That could be the play. Only issue is we've got 2 guys there who are already capable, and then a few more coming through. Messina out on loan, 75. As the only player to leave us is going to be Areola. We've got the lone boy still out there, I think. Oh, there's some down here. D'Alissio's gone to a 75. He was due some growth, I swear down. And Guardo to a 79. He went on loan to Lazio. One of the rivals in this division, as I knew our team was very good rated. And we have won the Serie A. Look how many points were in it. I'm not going to lie, I think I did the same with the Panathinaikos save when I moved them to the Serie A. It's just such an easy league to win. I find it so anyway, as I don't get this glitch. 1-0 to us. And then in the next round, Atalanta go and get put in it. I thought title update 5 had actually solved that problem, as no Italian clubs in that UCL final, but when you do turn to the Super Cup, Inter made it through, and they're on the left-hand side, meaning last year they did win the UCL. We beat them to the league by a point. Is that telling us something? Could we do the impossible with this team and our wonder kid of Ferrari scoring 15 goals? Now, call me stupid, call me an absolute idiot for all I care. I'm going to change the position of Francesco, as it does take him to an 86. Don't look stupid at all anymore, as then we need to flick to Casade, change his position around, and he stays at an 84. Now, what do we do with this team? Because Amatucci cannot play best there. He would play best there with Maturo because it's a left foot, right foot. Unfortunately, taking Angeli out the team, and we do have a lot of centre-backs here. Just look at the ones we've got back. We've got Palumbo, also Messina, and also a more stacked bench as 43 million euros. That's a lot better, and you expect it. Come on. When you do go ahead and win the league against all the odds, which I think we did, and it's just a shame really. We signed Skelly last season, the CDM, but we're still going shopping for another one. Should have bought one with potential, as in real life this guy's flourishing his. Carlos Baleba, he's really starting to put his foot on the gas over at Brighton, and I was going to say it costs all of our money to do this, but they want Mark Rodado, and we're not really playing him in the team at all, so that's literally a perfect deal. He will not be our only signing. As he goes straight into that midfield, a left footer on the left-hand side, and more money still to be made because I'm selling a lot of our fringe players. Tobias Storm first, 10 million, that's a really good deal for him. Followed shortly by Messina, and then Davide Gatti. 57 million, big bucks. Right, we're going to probably save 7 million for a backup goalkeeper to come in. Then we've got 50 million to spend at our will. Oh, but guess what? When getting a backup in from the Pro League, we've done it again. Only a cheap fee for Bodad because we put a player in the deal. Sweetening it up for us. As I mentioned getting a few players before, when we were in the Serie B, and I was thinking about the Esposito brothers. As you can see, these aren't all brothers, but there are a lot of players with the same names. And I believe some of these are brothers, but I'm probably going to come back to them another time. As for now, we've got to get the best backup striker we can find possible. And yes, I did want an Italian. That's why we've gone for Raimondo. And here we are, we're seeing some growth in Baleba, Mancini, everywhere really. I don't need to focus on one position in particular. The new striker I saw didn't go up, but as long as our team overall is, with Ferrari, like a fast car, out in the front lane. So surprised with Amatucci as well. You saw his overall as 10 goals out of 4 players and 19 out of Gurgic is a brilliant sign, but will the worst club in Italy in real life retain their title? Well, no, because we come third in a 3-horse race. If we can even call it a 3-horse race, we're so far off second as Cittadella versus AC Milan in a semi-final. Oh my days, but we don't win the final. Juventus beat us 2-1. Would have been a nice trophy, but realistically, we've already got Champions League for next season, and that would have meant absolutely nothing. As where are we in this one? Do we already qualify? No. Yes, we beat Udinese to then get beat by Roma in the quarterfinals. Oh my days. This means more than the Super Cup, and we didn't go very far in the Coppa. Shame really, but hey, in Europe, look at the clubs above us. Every single one is elite, and then we finished 8th. Brilliant, as I believe, yes, we do avoid a playoff round. Straight into the round of 16, beating AS Monaco. Oh, and then we got very unlucky. We drew Madrid and lost 5-3. Yeah, no chance in that one. All right, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with the effort. At least nobody else is leaving. We've got a youthful team, no one over 30. And that should put us in good stead to go again for the UCL title. We're back again for another season, ready to do it all over again. 60 million euros in the bank, that's more than when we won the league. Think it's put all of our money from over the competition of the Champions League now into our budget, as Amatucci needs a contract. He's our oldest player and he's still not very old himself. Positionally, left back and Cam are left down there. In fact, our left back submitted a transfer request and I think I've got the perfect replacement for him, but still I want to see where our weakest position is tactically, as what I meant by that is players not on plus drills, but a lot are not on plus drills. We've only got 3 in their correct positions. I'm going to try changing to attacking wing backs. That works for our defenders. As I've shifted it around to this, the 4-3-3, attack defense, and then with the ball, it goes weird. It goes to a 2-2-3-3. What can I say? I like to disguise my formations. Go with one thing and then with the ball another. As we're going to be balling with money when I sell this guy, because I am going to sell Nazinho. Get yourself off to City, mate. I don't care. Go and get some game time. I will take the money and run. Flavio, thank you for 50 million. 102 million euros now, and I know what I'm going to do with that money. Yeah, if you haven't put 2 and 2 together, Italian left back, who's not in Italy. Don't like signing from rivals. And he's already at Manchester City? Why did they take Nazinho when they already have Destiny Udogie? You're coming with me, my good friend. I can't believe we've just got him, but to be fair, a little bit more expensive than I would have liked, but he's the only thing needed. As there he goes into that left back spot. We do have 285 rated there, but I've done enough swapping around with our reserves, with our bench sporadic players. I've sold a lot of them, and plus 26 players left at the club isn't many to have. And we need to keep some in the bank. With only 2 goalkeepers and yeah, only 1 signing in this window, I think we're fairly done. I mean, just look at the quality of our squad. Did not see a problem at all with our lineup of players. Oh my days, but I spotted a problem with an injury. Ferrari, who's 94 rated, is injured. And I hope that doesn't mean out for the UCL final if we've made it, because it's season number 2. And we do like a run the second time round, as he's out for 8 weeks, as there are our players' ratings. 3 almost 90 themselves. Don't think Amatucci would have ever made it, but we did have some other good players, as 2 suspended and Raimondo the top scorer over Gurgic. Would have never expected that, as this is something I expected again. Before the save was up, I expected to at least get another Serie A title. Not to brag, not to boast, but I do find this trophy rather easy when we're in it, but unfortunately, nothing in the Super Cup. Lost on penalties in the semi-final as we actually made the final of the Coppa, losing 2-1 to Juve. Oh my days. 2 trophy bottles, but we do not bottle anything in Europe. Top of the tree over Manchester City, and it looks like a good group. 16 goals, 8 conceded. Basically could have won every game 2-0 as we win the round of 16 3-1, and we actually drew the second leg, so we were lucky. But not as lucky as the quarterfinals, beating Paris. That's usually a final team. Then in the semi-finals, it is revenge on Real Madrid after a close game last time out, and Milan don't make the finale. Feels like Leverkusen have made it in almost every single rebuild we've done on this channel, and they've made it in this one as the formation. I was gonna show you that it's been working, and I see another suspension. Mancini, he's got a red card for this one. So no him nor Ferrari, our literal 2 best youth players from the academy. Can we change the shape? Raimondo's gonna have to fit in, and Tessiore, who's been here from the start, not even 80 rated, and yeah, or does he? Because I think I'll change the shape. I'm gonna go the 5-2-1-2, add a defender to the mix and change the midfield up, which might not be useful, but works for the rating of the players. We've added an 85 to the squad instead of a 75, and a striker out of position. Helps the formation and the ratings, because an 85 instead of a 79 being played, plus a striker on the wing. I wasn't really in the mood for them shenanigans. As Sidibe to come forward. Now there's a ball down the wing, and Baleba, come on, there's a man in the middle. Could we try and cross it? No, because our player doesn't kick the ball. Cassidy out onto the wing, and Pedro Lima cutting inwards. He's a brilliant player that Wolves have on their books, as that is a good pass into Baleba. Can we get a man into the middle? We can. Men have run away from Baleba. This should be a goal. Raimondo, we forgot the ball, and he didn't score. Sorry, Ferrari scores that one, as Sidibe turned cam this game, and Raimondo turns back. Still, he scored a lot of goals in the league this season, but seems shaky as Pedro Lima. That's beautiful. Sidibe, get running, my forward men. Gergic, can we get a man off? Come on. There's a man up front in Raimondo. If we pass this easily to the side, we're on side with Cassidy. Kobel again, though. A wonder keeper, the Swiss player in the UCL final in real life very recently. Another pan away. Come on, we've got them from the corner, though. Sidibe into the mixer. A tall man heads it. Maturo wide of the net. Are we actually going to score after this pressure? We've even got them on the ropes with the formation switch, and I didn't expect that. Just our passing's been very shocky as Lima. Look at that terrible cross. That one's probably on me, though. I'll blame myself at some point as Sidibe, passing to Gergic. Baleba steps away and leaves it to Casade. It might fall here to Raimondo. It is a block. Scalvini. Our support run's woeful. Everything woeful. There we go. Normal pass to the side for us to get running, as it's a return ball. Cassidy into the middle. Raimondo, there's a run in front of him, and that is the most simple through ball imaginable. Now, we're running out of time. I know we were the worst team when we started, but we should be better. Raimondo gets the run around Baleba. Come on, Baleba, get away. And now just put that ball into the middle. It's a very lucky goal, but Gergic drags it in. With the inside of his side foot, the Austrian towers into the box and just, yeah, gets the faintest touch, but the keeper stood no chance. 1-0 Cittadella, and it is a brilliant goal. Let's have another look just across the box and tap. Left foot, open the body up. Brilliant to Sidibe. Come on. Have we got a bit of confidence going on with him? I mean, I did try the skill move to no attempt against anybody, but Sidibe running into the box. Oh my days, just get your foot on that. Score the goal, which he almost did, but still, come on. We've got football to play here. Terrible ball. Switch that, though. If he's onside Gergic, that could be a good hit, but he's off. Shouldn't cost as much, though, as the tackle in from Lima. And there is the whistle, as it's done and dusted. We have done it with the worst imaginable team. The Champions League, and Amatusci, an original, is going to lift it high into the sky after a very difficult patch, which I very much enjoyed, though. I like taking the worst team to being the best. As, which country do we do next? Comment below, or click here for another rebuild. Something peculiar is happening in Germany with the bottom team in the Bundesliga 3 being so far away from Bayern Munich, despite the location between the two sides being very close. Why don't the big team just help them out? Bail out your district team. Well, I guess it's not their fault that Unterraking are so low down, even below an academy side, which a professional team should not be. So they need to hire a professional who's rebuilt the lower league clubs. That's right, I'm going to be in charge. My first rebuild in Germany this year, as I have a mission to take the worst team in Germany to being the best and beyond. With only 3 signings allowed, no more, we've got to make Unterraking the best team in Europe as well. Yes, people, no fear, we are finally in Germany, and we are finally taking on a challenge, again, with the worst club in the country. An aging team, as I can tell by some of the midfielders and defenders. Oh, dearie me, this will be a challenge, as I've already told you the one rule this rebuild. This man right here is not allowed to make more than 3 free agent signings, because that will make it a little too easy. But still, at this moment in time, I don't think we can even afford free signings. £1 million? Can the squad at least be better? No offense, of course, meant to Unterraking, but I expect semi-pro players, some people that will have full-time jobs, to be in this first team, as Jonas Geers is our main player. We've even got a player on loan at Ulm, which is kind of disappointing. Is he recallable? He is. 19k. Right, I don't know the specifics about this player, but that's like a first signing. I'm bringing him back, but as you can tell, he replaces Maya, who is a decent winger, telling me the formation is wrong, and I'm going to shift this to what I want to do. And I'm a manager that likes to go outside of the box when I am coaching somewhere new, so this is what I've chosen. Yes, there's still only 2 wingers. Or actually, do we still trust the strikers? Maybe I do. I'm going to go strikers. And I'm going to go this shape, which I actually really like. And it hasn't got all the best players in it because I'm going off my age of the squad, getting the youngsters involved, because we've got a few of them. Tim Hoops, 60 rated at 18 with a loan deal, alongside Ben Schlieke and alongside Max Hennig. We can loan them out and make some superstars in Germany, like some regen Thomas Mullers, but unfortunately that's where the fun stops. With youngsters, a 1-star scout, which I might as well send to Germany because we can just pay him for 3 months. Looking for a centre-back, and I've skipped a month in advance, but all the players don't look very decent. I mean, at least Sven Horn's only 13, giving them plenty of time to grow, and our best ones are 16. In Ludwig, Langer, and Scholz, we could all loan out. A lot of loaning to do, as we've got still 1 million, so it must have been on the higher echelons of that 1 million, maybe 1.4. Still, I don't think enough for a signing, so maybe we have to dip straight in. The free agent market will be utilized season 1, which I don't plan on doing always, and we do need a cam in this team with Christopher Horvath, 22-year-old from Hungary. If he's hungry for another club, hungry to prove himself, I have no objection to bringing him in as our first signing. The Hungarian should be hungry enough to try and compete for his position. That was very cringy, and I'll never say that again. As hey, we finished 14th, above some of the second teams, which is a very good feeling, and I'm very glad to not be at the bottom. Shows progress from real life, where the team are down at the depths. As a little bit of a cup run, we reached round 3, losing to St. Pauli in the Pokal, but no playoffs, nothing like that. We're building a team here that definitely isn't ready, but I'm putting everything in place for it to be. As look at this loan list, we've been on it like absolute mad. Our youngsters all gone out, to Langer to Bromley. Imagine going from the lowest ranked in Germany to the lowest ranked in England. As Tim Hammerman went to the lowest ranked in FC full stop. Hoops to a 63, Hennig to a 65, and Heide, who was going to be my first team goalkeeper, to a 68, but I loaned him out because we have Else, who's 63 rated, and the team already here has done pretty decent. Horvath and Keller, the standouts for me, as Horvath was our top scorer. Our brand new signing got 18, Ihorst got 12, Keller only got 6, but still he's 21-year-old, 69 rated. And this man's grown a lot, Boipello Mashigo. I'm feeling a little bit confident now. I'm seeing the increases in rating, but if you guys want to help the channel out, increase its overall, hit the subscribe button. We're on that race to 50k as all our loan players players have returned. Time to sprinkle them in the team. We've got Hoops can play, Hennig could play. As overall, this looks our best team now, so Hoops and Heidi into the team. Lambie I do trust. Only 22, but out of position, and just won't change. 18 weeks, but I'm going to make a change here by hiring a few scouts, not too many. We've got to be wary of our budget, which didn't really go up. We've spent $1 million on scouts already. That's pathetic. €1 million yet again. I don't want to go for free agents, as maybe in the higher leagues there could be some loan deals, but nothing to see in the Bundesliga 2. However, the top tier, well, the first player I've actually selected, Ibrahimovic. Now, no, it's not Zlatan Ibrahimovic. It is a youngster from Bayern, who I obviously said at the start we're very close to. So if I could get a loan to buy, hopefully we would have the money next season to go and collect him, as that is a very, very cheap fee for him. As here he is, into the club. That was rather easy, very well negotiated. And let's hope he scores some goals, just like Zlatan himself did. The only problem is, where do we play him? Because now we've got some really good wingers. So I think it's time to change to that formation that I did suggest in the first place. He can go as a cam alongside Horvath, hopefully scores as many goals as him. With these two midfielders now needing to go centrally. Lamy needs to change position, as we've got literally under $1 million now. And I'm deciding, do we go youth or do we go to the free agents again? Well, with it being early in the save, I kind of want to grow my own players, as I'm going to look across the midfield again, but centre mid is what I want most. But we haven't really found one. We've got a 58 rated cam. Now, I didn't even search for cams. Why are you throwing him in my direction? At least we do play that position, but it's our best players that are in it. Horvath now 75. Ibrahimovic 72. At only 20, but I don't think we'll be able to do that settle to buy option. Hopefully it does go into next season. If not, we're probably screwed. Or are we? Because we've loaned his own players out and we've got Alexandra Luthard. Only 4 ratings lower, and at 20, he's pretty damn solid. Hennig is now 19, 68 rated, but a left back. And then our youngsters have done pretty decently again, into the 60s now, which should show some improvement. But unfortunately, judging by the league position, it doesn't. Finishing 16th. This season, we've gone down, and it doesn't even show me the Pokal, so I believe we haven't even qualified. Or something BS like that, and there's definitely an issue with players not playing in this team. I'm looking at that left-back Lamy, and I'm looking at Hennig coming through, who's a left-back. Maybe we do need full-backs in this team, as Horvath was our top scorer. And season number 3, yet again, not getting nowhere. So I'm going back to the drawing board to a 4-4-1-1 and giving us this shape. You can see Hennig can go at right back, Lambie at left back. And the only real question at the club now is around this man Ibrahimovic, who I thought would be our main star, and we have got a bigger budget this year of €3 million, so we could afford that release clause, or buy option should I say. But do we really go and pay it? We do need another cam, but is this youngster worth it? Well, based on his contract, I'd love to get him into the club, but 30k a week is nothing we can afford. And I even chucked 10k. They rejected that, so he won't stay here. Back to Bayern he goes, the team we desperately want to compete with at some point, as now I'm looking at midfield again because Jeese is getting older and maybe another centre-back in. I think signing them two positions should put us on for Bundesliga 2. Promotion if we just fight as Sadiq Fofana. Unwilling to relocate, but this is a man I desperately love in career mode. Oh, and he won't join. Where the heck do we look for players? I mean, I have slated the second teams like Borussia Dortmund second, but every player is quite young and they do have some decent players here. So I have broken my bank account on this defender, Ben Hunning, and this man from Stuttgart second team in Korkut. And it should help us out having all those good players here with them potentials, as Underhaching absolutely trod on the league, stamped it down, took that trophy. Now we'll go to the Bundesliga 2, 3 seasons deep. but still no sign of the Pokal. Do we just not get into that, as now we're going to get into our team? Look at it, we've got some 70 rateds here, it's amazing. Ihorst the striker, Horvath the cam, Widener and Keller all over the rating of 75, whilst we've still had youth outgrowing as we just paid almost $1 million for the centre mid, Korkut, but then we've got our 2 youth players who are already better than him. That's a mistake on my part. Maybe we shouldn't have been trusted with all that money. I mean, I'll take it all in the second tier. We're definitely going to have to fight to get into the first, because we didn't actually have many goal scorers. A man who only played 11 games and he's 59 rated, Florian Schmidt, was our second top scorer, which is genuinely bizarre. And the first thing, huzzah, that I am seeing, the Pokal, so we should be back into the German Cup now, alongside competing in the second tier. There's some very good teams at this level, including Schalke, a club I really respect and have had money troubles. It's sad to see where that team's gone, because they're such a big part of German football. As speaking of money troubles, I think we've got some ourselves. £4 million is the biggest budget we've had in a while, but to improve this team, I don't think it's enough money. At least we've got youth players to put in the team, but we've also got a 43 rated. We do not want to see any more of that. He's 36-year-old and got a contract. At least it is expiring. Is the next player to leave the club, go and become a free agent? Speaking of free agent signings, I wish this man was one, because I am going to look at them in a minute. But Ibrahimovic is now 79 rated and we didn't buy him. And now he has a value of £47 million. We literally could have paid 1.2. Again, never trust me with money, because I'll never do anything good with it. However, there is the chance of redemption, because I'm looking at some good free agents, like Jan Bednarek, a 2-year contract for a current Premier League centre-back. Unreal, and yes, he's old, but we do have a lot of young centre-backs behind him, waiting to take his position, and they will be going out on loan, as the next position I want isn't midfield. I want a right back. I'm going to put Hennig at left back again, because he's 20, 71 rated. But Lambie getting older, and he's not even hit the 70 mark. So with the £3 million left, yes, that's a bit of a decent budget. And there is still contracts to pay, but we've got to find a good right back. And I am definitely going outside of the box. I'm going to look in the Sudamericana, as the South American leagues have produced some wonder kids. And I'm hoping this man will be Gabriel Fernandez, 69 rated, and joins our journey to becoming the world's best German team, which I want to make a reality sooner than we did from 3 to 2. I want to jump to the Bundesliga 1 very quickly, and 5th is not bad, you know, but it doesn't have us in them relegation playoffs. This is not like the English leagues. If it was, we would have been in them playoffs, pushing for promotion to the top division, which is obviously what we want to do. As the Pokal we were finally in, we went straight out in round 2 to Dusseldorf. Sad really, but what is the team looking like that's got us 5th? It is looking like this, and the increases are massive. Horvath now an 80, Widener now an 80, and Keller. They're our best players, but we have got one that's halting. Ihorst was always growing, but now stuck at a 77. And goal-wise, only 9 goals for a striker in the second tier. He shouldn't be outscored by a youngster who is 5 ratings less than him. In Langer, who I haven't paid attention to, but really grown. Just like Schlotz has on the bench, now 20-year-old, 70 rated. And Ludwig, well, he's kind of slipped behind a little more. But not to worry on centre-backs, because Hoop, Schlicke, and this Zentrich all got loaned out, and we can now add them to the bench. Or even to the first team, because Schlick is a left-footer alongside Bednarek. This team looks very, very double decent for this division, and £7 million is enough for anyone. But this striker position, it's still just playing on my mind, man. It's just the fact I want to be better than Bayern, Everton and Bayern have always had good strikers. It's sending me that crazy. I am going to transfer list Luca Horst, a man who's been incredibly loyal to us, but A, we need some money, like 36.5 million from the worst club in Spain, who we also did rebuild, but B, we need a better striker to reach that top division, as Horst is gone, leaving us 37 million. We've got to pay contracts, maybe another player, as Bednarek's pretty old, Masigo, Heining could be replaced. There's plenty of options we can do, as the best player in our current division, who is a striker, is Damian Downs, who I want to go better than. And that's why I've spent £18 million on the next Edin Dzeko Samed Badzar. He's come from Pekzol, and it does look a like-for-like replacement. But don't forget about the money we made, as now 17 million for them other positions. And I feel apart from Jan Bednarek, I haven't got a recognisable face in this team. And well, this man isn't recognisable, but he's very good. Eric from Leeds, or De Silva Moreira, currently at Nottingham Forest in real life. And I guess this man's more recognisable, Tyrell Malacia, who we didn't pay a penny for, finding him in the free agents. Yes, just like PSV have done, we've saved Malacia, adding him to the squad, which just needs to win the Bundesliga too. Waden now our best player. He's been here from the start, same as Keller, Horvath, Badzar, our striker's done well. Well, he's to be judged on goals, and 16's better than Horst. Horvath's still on top, 25 for what was a free agent. Sensational, as we're going to lose some key players like Jan Bednarek, but he's been old for a while and I don't mind losing him to the retirement home. We saved 11 million euros last year with getting Malacia as a free agent, and that will be money we take to the top division. 26 points at the top. I mean, Hamburg took 11 defeats. There's no chance we were getting caught that season. So another trophy, get in there, as we also entered another trophy in the Pokal, losing round 2 to Mainz, but I just like being in it. I like being around for the ride again, as this team, could it survive? Well, maybe with some strength in the defense, we could stand a chance next season. 25 million euros in the top division. I thought the Serie B to Serie A budgets were bad, but this is incredibly worse. Not to mention, I released the striker that was sat on our bench, hoping we'd get some money, and we know we need to put money into defenders. Our partnership only 23 for both of them, but a contract expiring. This is going to be a very, very long season, as after contracts, 16 million euros, so it's took 9 offers, and 16 million euros isn't even enough for a pretzel at Christmas. All the Christmas markets I went to, safe to say, I lost a lot of money. So I think for our backup option at striker, we definitely go free agent with Oddson Edouard, but he's not going to grow, and that is 2 free agents in a row. Did a little rap there, but make it 3 with Araujo. Our new backup goalie, 19, 73 rated, a Guilherme Ochoa, regen, but of course, we do need to get a centre-back in the squad to keep us up, and I'm going back to Bayern again, speaking about them, because Vincent Kompany, how I could just use him at the back. Can he please come out of retirement for us? And with our budget looking so bad, before we get that centre-back in, I don't want to sell the 2 that are in the team, because like I said, they're only 23. I'm going to have to sell other players like Max Hennig finally leaves the club, Zentrich the same, and also Ben Hunning. That gives us £31 million. And that's enough for 1 quality player. So get into this club, Jan Laurel Bisek. A player that, simply put, is a man mountain of a centre-back, previously of Milan, so he definitely has experience at the top level, which is what we needed. We changed Schlick for hoops. I don't like 2 right-footers, but that's what we've been gifted with, and this team looks very solid. Solid enough to stay at the top level, as top scorers at the club is Samed Badzar with 14, but Horvath just outscores him each and every season, as this season is not what I expected. 8th in the Bundesliga, so no fighting against relegation. A lot of defeats, as it's Hamburg, Werder Bremen, and St. Pauli in the playoffs, where we just sold one of our centre-backs to, so sorry to Ben Hunning. And I'm sorry to the team, but you need to get past round 2, this time to Hoffenheim, losing 1-0. I want cups in this rebuild. I don't just want to win the Bundesliga, just want to win the Champions League. I want this team to be the best team overall with loads of trophies. Season 7 now, and on average, the season we usually win the UCL in, but with 24 million euros. Yes, that's right. 24 in the top tier after finishing 8th. It's disgraceful, really. But where do we really improve? Because Lange has an injury. 76 rated. I usually love to keep my regens in the team, but this time it's not excusable. Yes, he's still 22-year-old. But we need to be winning the Champions League, and also that centre-back position. Hoops now up to a 78, but I do want our team over 80 rated. If possible, as the transfer list. A lot of players have put themselves on it, but I've put Ligue, Widener, who is 87 rated, and Schlick, because we need to make some money in Widener. Yes, he's high rated. Yes, he's 29. But he has been the captain for us. So losing him would be difficult, but look at that money from Brentford. Surprised by that. Brentford are usually a profitable team. As we're trying to make some profits, we've sold a youth player, Scholes, and now Schlick. We've sold him to Mainz, who is a league rival. And there goes Widener. I'm really, really sad to see that coming. The bid, that is, as now I'm going to shop in my favourite league, the Championship, where you can definitely find your bargains. Banzuzi, number 1, of course, the player I just did show you. And Kian Fitz-Jim, also a fellow Dutchman. Boosting our midfield ratings, of course, we've just lost a big player, but now we buy a bigger one. Centre-back, yet again. And I think it is time we approach the big boys. Bayern Munich. I've spoke about them so much more than I should have done today, and I guess it's cause I'm jealous of them, but they'll be jealous of us as we've just stole their main centre-back and their youngster, Vogt his name is. And look at this man, yes again, he is not a left-footed centre-back, but he came through the Bayern Academy, 24-year-old, 93 physicality, one of the strongest players physically, and also rating-wise, with him and Bazunu at the top, then our new captain, Jan Laurel Bisek. I don't mind it, and he's definitely impressed in terms of goal contributions, but not as many as Samed Badzar, our striker. 39 goals, like I said, for the new Edin Dzeko, who fires this team to a place I couldn't imagine. As yes, we top the Bundesliga, finishing above the rivals Bayern Munich by 4 points, despite taking more defeats than them. Draws really help us out. We're one of the best teams in Germany. And that was almost shown by winning the Pokal as well. An unbelievable season, but Frankfurt just beat us. Fair enough, they've won a lot of trophies, which we've not done up to date. However, one thing that caught me off guard is the fact we're in the Conference League with Tottenham. Yes, Ange can never get Tottenham playing well, it seems, as we beat Olympiacos. Then we moved on to Viking. Then we squeezed past Ajax, and it will be Tottenham we meet in the finale. I had no idea that 8th position would get us a game against Spurs. In Europe, who we beat? What did I say? Tottenham just bottle it. As I was saying, we won no trophies. We come up a team that haven't in ages, and back 2 in 1 season, not forgetting we're in the Champions League. Which obviously means a bigger budget, but 56 million euros. I guess we can't change our ownership, and our ownership just don't have the money. Despite our rise, as where do we improve? I'm looking at left back even. Malasia 31, but then our first team's kind of solid. We now have 2 day oneers in the team, in Keller, our winger, and Heidi, our goalkeeper, who did start as a youngster, and a few on the bench, you know. I think there's 4 4 or 5, as the bench is what we need to focus on. We definitely need another striker. Bazdar scored 39, maybe up for the Ballon d'Or. But nothing wrong with healthy competition. Reece Cunningham. Hudson Edouard's going down, at least he is going to go up, and he's Canadian. Canadians have worked over in the Bundesliga, as proven by Fonzie Davis, as that's a big player for the bench. And now, time to see if we do get any offers in for our players, and see if we can sell them, as this one very much confusing me. Aaron Keller, day 1 prospect bid from Bayern Munich, who I'm considering our rivals. This man here from day 1, but give us 100 million and you've got yourselves an 83 rated at 27 years of age. This is a little emotional. We're losing a day 1 player, but we're gaining a lot of money, taking us to 133 million, and he was a Swedish player. For a German team ourselves, I want to try and get a German in, obviously, to take his place. And this man, Champions League quality personified. He was in the latest final, and yes, he didn't play too well in it. But Kareem the Dream Adeyemi, Danny Aaron's favourite player, has to join our squad and makes us a lot stronger on the wing. And there he is in our team. He's got his playstyle plus, and these are the ratings of our lads. We've got 3 over the 90 mark. Bads are the best in terms of goal scoring, but Vox stats 92 and 94 is unbelievable. As I'm glad that Horvath stuck with us all the way, and Adeyemi got 13 goals, but the most goes to Samad again. Unfortunately, I did stop, and no, wasn't nominated or won the Ballon d'Or. Went to a player called Kylian Mbappe, if you've ever heard of him. Yeah, he stopped us winning it, as this is a stinky season in the Bundesliga. Now, we actually did pick up a lot more draws, and that will put us back in the Europa League, and we also lose the Super Cup to Frankfurt, a team that just know how to beat us. The same with Mainz. We don't like red and white badges, but we do like the Champions League, finishing 3rd in the league phase. Imagine we went back to back with the Conference League and Champions League. Would be some huge achievement, as Brighton, a very good first leg, and second got us through, as we beat Leipzig. I'm pretty sure German fans like that. And then we beat Milano in a comeback after 2-0 down to make the Champions League finale. Yes, our squad is good enough, but I didn't expect this coming from the bottom of German football. Now all the way to the top, not of German football, we were there last year though, of European football, as this team is the team that's got to do it. And Bazdar, just keep on scoring your goals. If he does, we should be just fine. As Adeyemi, I can just see the playstyle plus already coming into play. This will definitely not be an easy game. As Pulisic on their right-hand side, a very good squeezed ball through, a shot for Goncalo Ramos, and I thought maybe a handball there. Good job there was no connection there, as now we're going to switch the ball across to our Brazilian, and now here's the right mid, Moreira with the shot. Let's maybe try and give it to Adeyemi, shall we, instead, as now Fitzjim came in as one of the lowest rated, but if he looks over the top, he's almost squeezed a ball through. Just not there yet, as Job into Valverde, a great tackle. And now Horvath from the 3rd tier. If he can get it out wide, that's a good ball. Banzuzi, where's Adeyemi when you need his pace? But Banzuzi tries to get a shot off and succeeds. A brilliant effort, but still, the effort not going in. Fitzjim has some space. I'm going to take the shot on early. Unfortunately, no one with pace through the middle who I can just run with, but Adeyemi's now in the middle, and Adeyemi is dancing. If he can try and put that ball across, that's going to be a penalty kick. Get in there. Stupid from Levi Colwill. Have no idea how he's at PSG. I don't know how he's made that move, and that's a definite penalty. Come on. The ex-Chelsea man in this save now, giving away the spot kick, and that is Horvath, the man from day 1. As I'm going to try and go. He's got 79 penalties. Worrying, but that is a penalty of the upper echelons. 1-0 to Unterhaching. I've even started giving them the nickname. It's Unterhaching, of course. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing it right as Horvath. Let's have another look at this top corner shot. 0 saving that thing, as I wish it would have been half-time straight away, but Christian Pulisic just gives us a warning of what maybe is to come. You never know if they're going to wake up. I definitely think they should, but Levi Colwill, what is that tackle? That's like Lisandro on Adama Traore. Red card, referee, red card. Yep. He's off. Vuk Jovanovic. Never heard of him. I'm guessing it's a regen player. One of the worst tackles I've ever seen. And hopefully gives us the advantage as Vogt, the centre-back, goes for it. Never try that again, my friend. Just lay it off to someone next time as Matson. That is a Dutch left-back I'd rather have than Malacia. But Malacia on the winning team so far. Maybe some defending to do against this man. Oh, wow. Tyrell. Insane little challenge. And now running infield with the ball. There's a pass on. It's into Da Silva Moreira. He missed a big shot in the first half. And he misses one in the second again. As I really don't like this. Attacking very late on in the game. It's hit the crossbar from Giancarlo Ramos. Get rid of the ball, please. Moreira Silva to try and pass it. A pass straight into the left back. Merlin, please. Someone just stand in front of the ball. Do not let him shoot. He gets his shot off, but it's wide. And that should be the game. As we have transformed the worst team in Germany to Champions League winners from a penalty from our free agent first season signing. That's a mouthful, and Jan Orel Bisek. It's a shame it would have been Wadner if we kept in the central midfielder, but this man deserves it. Coming in to keep us in the top division of Germany, all the way from the bottom with his experience from Inter, as that is the top 4 leagues of England all conquered. And if you want to see more teams conquered, click on screen here to watch the video. Last year in football, Kylian Mbappe became part owner of SM Caen, a team over in the 2nd division now of France, but had history in the top division in 2019, but now have themselves glued to the bottom of the Ligue 2 table, showing despite being one of the world's best players, Kylian Mbappe is a terrible football owner and he definitely needs saving out of it. So today I become the owner and the manager at the same time, keeping Mbappe on the board as I hope to take Caen up by winning the Champions League and lifting it here in France. As yes, people, this is the end of hopefully a huge challenge, as this is the start of our journey with SM Caen. And I've got to say, for a struggling club, we've got some very well-known players. Yanam Villa played in the Premier League. I believe it was with Stoke City. We've got Parfait Mandanda, the brother, of course, of Steve Mandanda, the goalkeeper that actually made appearances in the Premier League, with Crystal Palace at one point, are still 35 players overall, and a budget of 7 million euros being at the bottom of the 2nd French tier. This should be an easy rebuild. What has Kylian Mbappe done? He's surely doomed them for relegation in real life, but we get to fix up this team with a lot of potential in it. As there's no rules to this, we've just got to make them lift the Champions League title. But in the back of my head, I want to make a youthful French team. Not fully French, but I know we have young players here like Traore. Brahim is still quite young. And also this right back side, who I would like to get into the team, as I'm going to really try in this first season to maybe get us promoted straight away. Short passing and a higher defensive approach should do us the job, as I've put a few players on their playstyle plus, and that is the shape we're going for. I want my wingers going out wide to support our striker Mendy, who's the captain, but 30-year-old. And on the bench there is no striker. Yes, we do have 2 in the reserves, but I think this is the perfect opportunity, whilst we have an old striker who's our best player, to maybe use a scout and find a really good regen Mbappe. Or not literally, because of course he's still playing and you can't find a regen. Whilst they are, as this is the academy already, and we've got a decent 60 rated. Also Gabriel Machado, but I don't want to waste money when I don't have to, as the rest of the academy discarded, and I am going to be searching for a French striker using a 2-star, 3-star scout, so he's not the best, but he can still find Mbappe. I'll actually look for a left winger as well, despite not playing that position. I know Mbappe started as a winger, then moved and transitioned into a striker build. In FIFA, I know at Real Madrid he still likes to play on the wing, as I've skipped straight ahead because I want to promote the striker first. And here are our immediate options. I mean, we do have 2 very good wingers and a cam that I wasn't really searching for, but we can try and loan all of these players out in season number 1, and that's only cost 1 million of our budget, so we still have a lot of money to spend. And I want to now build at the back. We have a very good team as is, and I do want to leave our midfield line alone. And obviously Traore, so I want to look for a left footer better than Thomas, as I do want to keep this French themed. And Willy Camboire, very surprised Man United let him go because he did come through the academy there. And with Mbappe playing in Spain, maybe he has a word with the Frenchman, who's cost a lot of money straight away. £4 million we spent in a hefty wage deal, but that is a statement of intent. And the rest of the money I would love to say I put into coaches, but I didn't. We literally had just enough for a lot of contracts expiring, leaving us with this team, which has been a bit mishmash, not the best players playing. But I have made some position swaps, like Rajot on the bench, now into the side. Natim somehow got in there. He's 80 pace as a centre-back. This man's gone under the radar as an FC25 rating, so I might as well put him in the team. We've got Brahimi, who hasn't played. We've got an injured striker at the moment. Not looking great, but a few 70 rated. And yes, we've only got players on loan, like Yassine Benarroui. He's only on loan, and same as Gaudin from a league rival in Paris. But I did loan a few of our players out, like Theo Renal, probably butchering that name straight up. Hafid, the Moroccan. Hopefully he can replace the Moroccan leaving. As our top scorer was our lone boy though, Yassine Benarroui, getting 17 goals, significantly more than Alexandre Mendy, who's definitely not living up to the club owner in Kylian Mbappe. Goal-wise, but hang about, this is a phenomenal finish. In the playoffs, 5th position, 52 points. We only took 8 defeats. That's the same amount of defeats as 3rd place, who almost got up. Well, was one of the closest teams to getting up, as we lost in the first round of the Coupe de France. Never get any luck in cups, but we do have the playoffs to play. And in the quarterfinal we had to play, we actually won on penalties. And then we did it again. 4-3 in a semi-final to reach the playoff semi-final, which is 2-legged. We were losing, but SM Khan have gone and won Ligue 1 promotion in the first season with one signing. Kylian Mbappe's club will go to the top tier, and I'm going to put it all down to me. I'm going to act selfish, as we had the 4th top scorer, Yassine Benarroui, we might have to sign if we do get a budget, because it's going to be very hard to keep this team up. As if you're looking forward to seeing us in the top division, subscribe, because we're on the race to 50k. And also, please, please, please smash that like button. As before we get cooking, I'm going to offer an explanation why I always say that. Because on the channel at the moment, the like average is very, very low. I appreciate you all for watching these videos, but at the moment we get around 400 likes per 10k views, which doesn't push videos out. So once we hit the 10k views and the likes aren't really up, it does not show anyone that video anymore, and that's going to be really hard to hit 50k with. Anyway, that is my plea over, as this is the team we have. You can see we've got another boy back, Hubert, in the cam position. We did loan a lot of youngsters out last year, so yes, we have a collection to choose from, and Theo Renal looks the best, now up to a 67 overall. But let's not lie to ourselves, is that enough to keep us in this division? It's going to be a tough challenge. We're competing with Laurent and Metz, and probably AJ at the top, because apart from ourselves, them 3 teams are probably the weakest, but we're by far significantly weaker. Let's hope Mbappe's put some money in from his massive Real Madrid contract. But 15 million euros, oh, that's not going to be enough. We had a lot of contracts expire, we had loan boys going back, so I think we've got to change our shape, and maybe we just gamble with the youth, as it's going counter-attack, and we are going to go for a very deep approach this year with a 4-3-2 flat, because I just want to avoid relegation. Back down a division, as Gaucho De Bowie can play at centre-back. Brahimi and Hubert kind of out of it. If we could try and make one a striker, maybe it could work for Hubert, but his shooting's poor. We'll try Ronaldo instead, but still, I want to sign a striker, I want to sign midfielders, and I want to give the youth a go whilst also adding to our youthful players? This season just seems impossible, so why not get all of the old players out and replace them with some younger ones for the future? So we're going to sell a lot of these to push the budgets up, and a couple of important first teamers are going out the door. And I'm changing again because I do want to just gamble, play some of our younger players, like fit Ronaldo into the lineup, as I want midfielders, I want defenders, and I also want a goalkeeper who can work as Badio, stuck in the Swedish league and is a very young French talent, alongside Juan Herzog. Yes, we have had to go to Spain for this one, who's a defender, but then we have the superstar Warren Bondo. This man takes up a big wage, but he is 78 rated overall. Now the same rating as Willy Campuala at only 21. The team's definitely improved with the youth playing all through it. We've got Ronaldo on the wing, Leroy at left back, even Sai at right back. But when you look on the bench, in the top division of France, a 52 rated backup striker, that's probably not going to make the cut, as Campuala got the potential to be special. And goal scoring wise, only 11 from Alexandre Mendy. This is not looking good, bruv. It's going to have to take a miracle to survive in this division, and we were 2 points off a relegation playoff, but we will be going to Ligue 2. Still though, we've spent a lot of money, we've raised our players' ratings up, and we should maybe win the league next year, as maybe a cup run gets us a little bit more money, but it's only the round of 32. Losing 3-1 to Stade de Reims, and Paris FC won the playoff final, so they're going to be the team staying in this division or rising to this division, and I think they were good in the division below, as Kylian will be upset, sure, with his team doing really badly, but now we make it less about Kylian and we go out there and earn promotion out of this league with a team that's, let's not lie, is probably the best in this division. Auger will have a good squad, and I am going to check them in a minute. As replace Mendy up front, still he'll be a good backup striker. And maybe replace our left back, Leroy, despite being a youngster. We could still do a lot better there, as Kylian's put his money where his mouth is again, putting his wage in. 22 million euros in the second division, and these are our biggest threat. Now I'm looking through their team. I'm not going to go and buy straight from them. I think that will be a bit cheeky, as one player I'm very interested in, Luca Barrington, in real life does play for the team I support in Grimsby, and it's a bit weird to see him. But on the talk of youngsters, we loaned out the likes of Simon Hubert, who could be a good winger. Roy was out on loan as well, so we do have some decent youth coming through. And Rajot, I forgot about this man, definitely another one to be replaced. As our bench looks neat and tidy, this is good enough to be in the starting squad, and he's better than we had in season 1 when we got promoted, as this is the team now, and we didn't find a Kylian Mbappe regen in our first season, and unfortunately I'm not going to check again. I feel like we've got good youngsters in the squad as is. I'm going to have to find the next Mbappe by looking in the marketplace, and I think I've just found the man. He was at Lorient. I'm a huge fan of him. Eli Junior Krupi, or just Krupi we're going to call him. He made the move to Bournemouth in the summer, but we really want to take him away from them. Oh, sorry, no, it was January, but nevertheless, I am taking him because this man could be the next Kylian Mbappe, which is, of course, what I'm hoping for. He has signed a 5-year contract, but at 40k a week, he better hurry up and be as good as Kylian Mbappe. That is robbing us dry. So now we've got 13 million for 2 positions. Left back takes priority, and then a really youthful midfielder, as Noon Mensch is one of the best left backs playing currently in France. So I'm going to try and recreate him with Francisco Chisumba as an option, not costing over the top, but a very decent player to have, and gives us 8 million euros to find Warren in the midfield, a partner. And now I want an N'Golo Kante. I want a French engine in there, and with Mbappe's links to PSG, Seni Mayulu looks quite decent. Maybe not as defensive as Kante, but a really good player nevertheless, and should be a player that plays his part in getting us promoted again. Hopefully helped us get promoted, as I can't lie, yes, we have stormed the league. Yes, we have done it comfortably, but 9 draws, only 2 defeats is a good thing. I don't know what it was in my head, but I really thought we'd smash this league. Like, break records and everything, plus have a good cup run with our young squad. However, we lose to a team in this division, so quite poor, I'd say. Maybe I'm living in cuckoo land. Maybe I'm a bit optimistic, but these team ratings, right, we've got some 80s in Cambuala, Krupi, and Bondo. So 2, or no 3. All 3 of them are French players, as Leroy we can put back into the defense. With this starting team, we're indestructible. This season, we definitely shouldn't go back down to the division below, as we had a top scorer who's a youngster. Good to see it, but will he be the next Kylian Mbappe, as I've just rolled straight into the next season? We don't have to waste any time and money. £23 million. Let's just get it spent on a crucial player who is going to keep us up, and now we're looking for semi-young. I'm not going to waste the money on youngsters we actually don't need, as Brahimi, 67 rated, 27, could be the next to go. But then again, on the bench, we've got Roy, we've got Hubert, who we've both changed to wingers, as I'm going to put Hubert in, and that is a very youthful attack, with Mayulu just behind it, then Bondo, who's only 23. The next oldest, I would say, is Gaucho De Bowie. If we could go and shop for another Cambuala or Herzog, and then also on the bench, another backup striker, we could be looking at Europe. Then again, I'm not going to get ahead of myself. I'm just going to do the business, and this time I want the next Varane, as there's Jonathan. I don't know if he's the brother, and a QPR. Better than what we currently have, but no chance I'm going to be signing him, as now I'm turning to Mbappe again, and I'm turning to the club he's at in Real Madrid. Is there any hidden talents there? Well, they wouldn't be hidden, and there's William Saliba that's definitely not affordable. Then there's Raul Asensio, who hasn't panned out as expected, and Jacobo, who's not great, 6'5", but we are past him. We want someone above 75, so Kylian Mbappe's club not doing it for us. However, as we stay in La Liga at Athletic Bilbao, Kaplan looks a bargain, and only €8 million. Fantastic, as he has potential, and I know we could have got a left back in, but Leroy I'm going to trust. He's still only 20-year-old. He is, of course, a Frenchman. And we signed Chisumba, as now it's just in a backup striker, and I want someone good, and this time I might go for experience. I have just found a class free agent, and with youth all around the team, I'm gonna welcome back to France the 39-year-old Karim Benzema, who funnily enough hasn't turned up when we signed him. That is brilliant, but at the side of where he should be, Roy is 84 overall. Now, it's safe to say I didn't expect that. He can come out for Renault, or we could swap around like that. That makes the team very well-rounded. All over 80, apart from our left back, as Cambuala still the best player, then Bondo, who cost a lot, and Eli Jr. Krupi, who wasn't the top scorer though. Ronaldo only got 7, he got 11, but Roy, that is why his rating exploded. 18 goals is Kylian Mbappe level. He probably did a little bit better. And this is a Kylian Mbappe league, because look who the top 3 are. The club he started at wins it in Monaco, weirdly enough, with then Paris in 2nd, and Cannes, the team he owns, in 3rd position, which I believe just said guarantees us Champions League football, which I do not think we're ready for, so I'm not going to really prioritize it. As hey, a quarter-final as well of the Coupe de France, losing to PSG. Not the most disappointing of results, but now we've just got to think about where we sign. For next season, as left-back's going to be the weakest, and then Sai is now 25-year-old, but he's got 97 pace for a right-back. And we could even go for a winger. It all depends on the budget, but yeah, this team, probably not UCL ready. Question on everybody's lips though, especially mine at the moment, is where is Karim Benzema? Why is he still a free agent? You guys saw me go out there and get him. I actually handheld picked him myself, as we definitely need another striker. Where's some of our money leaking out to? We haven't even spent a penny. I blame Benzema. I'm going to blame him for everything. As yeah, like I said, this team is definitely not ready for the UCL just yet. But with Monaco winning the league, is that a sign we could also? As firstly has to be a backup striker, then we have to go for probably a left back now. He's growing very well, is Lurao, or do we just keep him longer? I'm so very confused at the minute. We've got a good keeper, we've got a good everywhere really. Maybe another winger, because yes, we do have 2 youth players there. Well, 3 if you're just looking right here. Brilliant players, but they are inexperienced, and maybe experience isn't winning the league for us, because when you do look at Monaco, they've got Gusto, they've got Hincapié, players I really would love to have. Laporte's lifted a lot of trophies, and Alvaro Morata. Now that is one of the strikers I would have liked over Benzema, who honestly I am literally just going to give up on. I'm going to go for someone unknown, someone different, someone a little bit taller than what our youth were, but still, Ferreira I'm undecided on, as that was 21 million of our budget gone on a backup player, bringing me to the conclusion, if we really want a class above left back, I do want to keep Lurao around, but we will have to sell a few more players now to afford one. So 2 players going, one we only just signed recently, as Rajot is the first one, and the second is Francisco Chisumba to a league rival in Strasbourg. Not the best of techniques, but it's gave us a lot more money to spend, and we just need that left back, as I've said, to try and keep us afloat in the chase for Champions League football again next year, because this year I don't really feel confident in it. And that's why we've drawn Baird in, a really good French left back who has Roy to support, or the other way around, on that wing. An 88 rated Krupi now, an 88 rated Cambuala. The only negative about this side is I think it's got confused on the right wing, because Ronaldo's 22 and he's 79 rated, so I think he's actually gone down by 1 because we've got 2 good wingers on the bench. I've actually confused FC25, which isn't new. I confuse myself a lot of times, as our top scorer this season wasn't actually Krupi, it was Seni Mayulu with 26 goals, and that sits as second to his old team and Mbappe's old team. We just didn't score enough as them, and then we finished 10 points behind. Still, we're going into the UCL next year, which is good. We just want to keep progressing, and if this doesn't show progression, winning the Coupe de France over AS Monaco, I don't know what does, as that's a trophy. Get in there. It's not the trophy we want to win, as Kylian Mbappe's got his side into the UCL now, with big help from me though, and we did get into the playoff round, but lost to Feyenoord, showing we're not really there yet. Yes, in terms of becoming champions, I think we do need a winger to replace some of the youth, as £62 million could be a bit more generous, as we do have Brahimi down here. We could sell a player, but then we do have these 2 positions. Traore and Meda need replacing on the bench, which Hubert will do. Actually, no, Hubert I put in the team. Ronaldo I took out the team, and the rest of it I do trust, as when you look around the ages, everybody below 27, apart from our last signing, Melvin Bard, who in his face looks like Mikhailo Mudryk if he just had a neater hairstyle. We have Lurao as backup to him. We could try and sell this guy, you know, make a bit of profit of our youngsters, but I'm not going to do that. Instead, I am going to trust the process to try and win this Champions League. Even if it doesn't come this year, I just want one of these right midfielders. Wingers weren't too great, as we have Alakishe at Everton, we have Bakwa, Diaby, Elise, and Chinua to pick from. Now, Chinua's definitely a no. Bakwa is low rated, but we won't afford the other 2, so it's Bakwa or Diaby, who does have a decent play style, is now at Leeds United, who are in the Championship, so I think we could buy him. He does have pace for days, he has experience at the top level, and I was very surprised to see him leave to Saudi Arabia, as he's now back in France, and at least unlike Benzema, he is walking into the ground, so hopefully he's our player now. Training as the right winger, because he definitely has the pace for it, and the dribbling, look at that, 93 balance and agility. Was at 92, so there we go. He's our oldest player, 29-year-old. He, of course, is left-footed. Now, Roy on the left is right, so they both can cut in. Support Krupi, who last year did get a bag full of assists. As we could even change to a back 4, play one of our wingers at striker. But no, I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to stick with the 5-2-3. And with these 2 players on their weaker foot, I've both made them inside forwards. And Krupi is a false 9, so our wingers should get most goals here. And at least one of them does. Roy with 25 goals, 12 assists. Groupie with less assists, more goals this season. And then our centre mid of Mayulu gets 20. That's incredible. And Warren Bondo gets 10. Our midfielders have been pushing forward. And I guess we do have a lot of defenders at the back, because I don't know why them two have swapped. We've got 90 rated in the team. Diaby, who hasn't been playing as of late as in the league. Paris, man, we can't get past them. This might be a trophyless season unless we do the impossible somehow. Or not impossible, but win the Champions League as Paris beat us in the Trophy des Champs. And we don't regain our trophy. Guess who beat us in the quarterfinals? You guessed it, PSG. However, it was us above them in the Champions League phase. Top of it, PSG second, being above Paris, as then we did beat Atletico de Madrid. We also beat Spurs 5-2 on aggregate, to then beat Liverpool 1-0. I knew our 5 at the back was worth it, as we might even not win Ligue 1, we might just win the Champions League, which I never thought would happen, but the final PSG can face off in the French affair. This is going to be interesting, as can this team be the final team when we've rebuilt the worst clubs in the major leagues? From Bromley to Cittadella, oh no, Tenerife was in the middle of that, and then it was under Bachin and Korn, if I'm pronouncing them right. French finale here with Mbappe's team, quite literally a French finale played at Old Trafford, and Diaby I have started on the wing as PSG with the move. The rivals all season, and I am so glad we've got 5 at the back against them. Come on, spread out! Just letting them have a free shot to start with. Poor movement from our defence. I mean, we're not overlapping centre-backs. We should be able to deal with it as Groupie as a false 9. And that is really poor from a 90 rated. To just get chucked to the floor like that. Let's look at the move. It's got to be offside because Creature, a really good save. But how? How have they stayed onside in that move? Miles off if you ask me. As Roy, you have got to be stronger in controlling that ball. As Fede, Valverde with the pass. That is beautiful. And that is offside again. Unreal chance for them again. As now Bergvall plays the pass. That is stupid across the field. But Lamine Sai, beautiful tackle. And now has to get us away. Mayulu out wide into Diaby and Groupie. If he's through the middle here, it's a good run from our false 9. Just pass it across, and how? How are you not being quicker? 90 plus rated, and look how quick PSG are being. He's offside again, I don't believe it. Why is the referee not flagging? Sorry, I have to change shape because we are not getting the ball to the wingers. I'm gonna go with Roy and Hubert in cam positions, Groupie and Diaby as strikers, as Diaby has his playstyle plus of being able to sprint quickly off the mark. So if we can find him like we have done here, there's the acceleration of pace. If he can get inside of his man, maybe try and get a shot off. What we've been asking for all game, and now we have 2 players in front of the defense because they have been dominant, and we have to try and stop PSG. Proving why I said, despite our ratings, we are not ready to win the UCL just yet. Block that. Willy Cambuala, our best player, but get the pass off Mayulu. Get us out of danger as, hang on, that's a little deflection, and Diaby is through the middle here with 10 minutes to go. It's Moussa Diaby. His career looked over when he did make the move to Saudi Arabia, but back in his home country, in Europe, and scoring in the UCL. For the worst team in France, it's a terrible replay we get of it, but it was surely good the first time round. Donnarumma finally beaten. After being dominant in the first half, we might have done what Liverpool did to them in real life, as, oh dear, Cambiasu working with Bergvall. That's a really neat run forward, but Nakambadio, just slow the clock down. Take your time with it as Donnarumma passes it forward, and referee blow that whistle. He does. And that is the dynasty completed. 5 wins out of 5 with the worst teams in the 5 top divisions, as Willy Cambuala lifts the trophy as we've completed the major challenge. I do like the colours of these teams. I don't know what about them put together, but we'll let it slide, as I know I didn't make much sense there. But yes, we have done it. Another team, the lowest in their country, lifting the UCL title. Do I carry this on? Do I finish it there? Do I go on to pastures new? Let me know the teams in the comments, and click here for more amazing videos.